What's up, everyone? This is State of Exile episode 55, Prophecy Fulfilled. And today's special guest, we have ItsYoji AngryAA, a guy that's here all the time. His favorite color is
purple.
And then a guy that's back to the community. What's up, AngryAA? It's good to have you back as well.
It's good to be back. It's really good to be back. And thank you for having me on the podcast, man. I'm really excited to talk about some PoE.
Yeah, I mean, you look pretty relaxed there, and the color behind Pohx is also purple, I just noticed. I like that.
I mean,
What?
that Illuminati.
That theming. All right, so without further ado, I guess you guys have an idea what we're talking about today. It's everything prophecy, and it's going to be a little bit more of a relaxed episode because...
We were.
Because of we were.
Can we get some ambulances? Thank you. Because four of us have all woke up right before it because we've been playing so much prophecy. We got what little sleep we could, and we're ready to talk today's podcast. So, without further ado, I want to thank you again, ItsYoji AngryAA, for coming on the show.
Anytime, man. Always awesome. Always awesome fun talking PoE with you guys.
And here's the breakdown of today's episode. So we have Monster Rebalance is probably the biggest thing in this entire expansion. They retuned monsters. You know, the power creep is back in the game's back in the company's control. It's freaking awesome. So we'll be discussing that. Performance improvements and issues with the improvements. All the new skills. Uber Lab and Prophecy. AngryAA here pretty much has the marking on it. Him and maybe Clufu. And then all the new uniques. So there's faded uniques that came out recently, and they upgraded all previous uniques. So that's what's up. Also, if you guys want to do any Q&A at the end of the show to ask any of the streamers here or YouTubers what's going on, you can do @ZiggyD live and direct all questions at him. He'll put them down in a Google document, and we'll do a Q&A at the end when we have time. So let's kick it off. Monster Rebalance. Who wants to tackle this one? AngryAA, you're back. What's up with the Monster Rebalance?
I didn't really notice it very much.
Build confirmed.
Nice.
Okay. Like Sparkers and maps do significantly more damage. Skeletal Magi Sparkers. I feel like old Sparkers from back in like closed beta, and they're a lot more dangerous. But honestly, like I'm still kind of, rolling over everything, kind of like I used to. There's not like a new monster that I've run into in maps that I'm like, I need to be careful about this. Yeah, it's not. I feel like it's a small step forward, but it needs to be a few more steps before I really feel challenged in maps more than I currently am.
I guess to explain, we had two things happen, right? We had some monsters get new skills, so most packs have with them now a specific monster that will use a new skill. So you got a lot more monsters with player skills to add some, mechanical difficulty to it, and then a lot of monsters that were just kind of like the damage was doing like 30 damage per hit were brought up to reasonable levels because the damage was like leftover from like 4 years ago. So they've been buffed up. So things like Sparkers that used to just tickle you now actually do damage. So I feel like the new skills were a little underwhelming from what I was hoping. How did you guys feel about that?
Most are underwhelming, but what really scared me, on your first character, no gear, no money. Like the first time I was playing this game, I got a plateau map from Zana, and I remember being on the podcast with Tarky Cat and Rise and Pohx, and I was bitching. I was like, plateau boss is too easy, blah blah blah, whining like I do best. And the plateau boss, I was like, why is he just not dying? Like, nobody can one-shot this clown. It's Uzbek. And they, gave him HP, and they made his degen or actually do something. I mean, by the time you actually get to tier 10 maps, it's like, whatever. But, your first map, you find a Zana. Go in the Zana map, plateau boss. And it was actually like, wow, they actually give a crap now. This guy is legit. Or, sometimes, zombies have always hit hard. The past few patches, they haven't hit hard. If you make the mistake of going near a zombie and get hit, you're like, wow, they actually do damage again. Simple little things like that. If you get caught out of position, you can notice the difference. Or like the goat fireball, you actually notice that thing actually chunks now, rather than 30 damage like Chris Wilson said. So I'm really happy that some things that you go back to are actually retuned. What are your thoughts, Yoji?
Yep. Some of the new skills I kind of noticed a little bit. Like, for example, there are the Blade Vortex mobs now who start, they stand still, start charging a Blade Vortex, and then they will run at you, which is basically what a player would do with the skill as well. And I kind of, at first I thought okay, they charge up way too long, it doesn't really matter. But sometimes, if you're an indoor map that's a little bit cornered, they will hide in the corner and charge that stuff up and come running at you at a doorway, and they chunk you. If they actually have a few stacks running, they will chunk you. Even when I have a Basalt Taste of Fate up, I will still take quite a lot a lot of damage. Like, whoa, back down for a second. What is going on here? And same for the, there are like Goldmen who cast Magma Orb. I had one in a tier 11 map today, and I don't think they ever just hit me before because Magma Orb is so wonky. It will just randomly not bounce onto you and you don't get hit. And then I got hit by a rare one, and that chucked me for 4k HP with one bounce. I was like, whoopsie! And I have 77 all res, so it's not even I'm like squishy to LE damage. And my spell dodge didn't proc, so I was kind of like, okay, maybe they sometimes can actually, in the right combination of map mods, do crap tons of damage, but that's like the only ones I really noticed.
That's what I was hoping, right? Was that in the right combinations, some of these new skills would be really gnarly. I guess I was expecting more kind of like synergistic skills with the packs, but these are just kind of naturally dangerous skills, things like Blade Vortex and Magma Orb.
Well, what happened to me? I almost ripped to actually like white spark mages because I was running a GMP map with turbo with shrines, and it was an acceleration shrine with a hasted totem and a GMP turbo map. And I walked the corner, and it was like an underground sea, so it was like all narrows, and there was like a permanent ball spark just like channeling down a hallway. I'm just like, oh my goodness! And like they do significantly more damage. Like each one's gonna hit for like maybe 300 damage, and when you have 50 of them flying at you, it's gonna kill you. And I just had to take a step back. I was like, that necro pack with white skeleton mobs is like, I gotta chill out for a second.
I was in Necropolis, and it was like my highest tier map, just got into tier 10s, and I was on my Elementalist, that Poison Flame Blaster I was playing, and I had Legion Primordial, but I just killed Merc Zaro. But Legion Primordial, those guys are immune to elemental damage. I would have died if they didn't exist, because the spark hit them and it fizzled out because they were immune. And they saved my ass, like, just absorbed all the hits, and I was like, I would have died there.
Golem actually being useful in high maps, nice.
They're tanks. They're not lesser golems anymore. I noticed that they're like significantly smaller on other characters. I like how huge they are in the Elementalist.
Yeah, that looks so cool, but I like that as well.
I want to throw out there though that like I guess what I was hoping for with the new monsters was that they would be a bit like a Rakango in a way. Like you see a rare Rakango in a map and you're like, oh, this is a problem. Like I need to stop and I need to reevaluate my life because otherwise I'm going to die a horrible death. Because this monster's kind of scary. And like you don't see them all the time, you only see them occasionally, but when you do run into them, you're like, oh man, this, oh dear. But I feel like with the new monsters, I haven't really felt that. So I was hoping I ran into like a Spectral Throw or Blade Vortex monster. It would be like a somewhat rare event. And I'm shitting my pants for whatever reason. But instead it's a little more challenging and that's good, but I was wanting more. I was wanting some,
it's just
some badass.
A light sprinkling of extra danger, I guess. It feels like. Hopefully, they keep adding more skills and adding them in like this. Because the idea of doing this was really good, I think.
Yes.
Like a great way of improving difficulty with in a mechanical fashion.
I think they're definitely leaning towards that right now, as we can see them introducing, like you said, tuning up the monster AI and adding actual skills to monsters now.
Mm-hmm. But even with just the Sparkers and also like the cold Sparkers, the ones who shoot like the little tiny snowflakes at you, with them actually hurting quite a bit, I actually found myself re-evaluating my defenses a little bit more, because normally it was just like all about fist defense. Especially as an invasion character, I was like, okay, I need fist mitigation, I'm good. And now I actually spec'd into phase aggro a lot earlier, which I normally would barely ever do ever. And now I actually respect some points. Was like, okay, I kind of need phase aggro earlier than I thought, because those Sparkers sometimes randomly still can kill you randomly, or some stuff can still happen, like the Magma Orb. I kind of want to dodge the second bounce of that or something like this.
I think that's really good too, like, because for so long it's been just Fizz is rippy and just like completely 75 resist is all you need to defend against LE stuff, so no one was ever worried about it. But now it means things like Kintsugi with its elemental protection and actually getting phase acro. Like the idea that people left behind the 4 points behind regular acro was kind of like made me feel crazy, but it kind of made sense in the end because a lot of elemental spells weren't really that dangerous, but now they're getting a lot more dangerous, so you have to actually consider those defenses, which I really like.
Yep. Like I personally don't usually touch like the ending of acrobatics till about like 85 or so. Whenever like end game map bosses become more apparent, because that's usually where a big amount of spell damage is, where you would die would be from the bosses.
There's another pack that's been a little crazy. So skeletal archers, like the little white skeletal archers, if you walk in a room and they all shoot at once, you actually notice your health dip now. Before you'd be like, whatever, skeletons. You walk in that room, you're like, wow, that was actually 2k damage. These can be scary if they're like powerful crits or something. So something to be aware of. Speaking of, multi-proj. What's the deal with multi-proj? Sometimes it shotguns, sometimes it doesn't. Good luck. Learn what shotguns, learn what doesn't. I think it's something that needs to be adjusted. And you can't remove shotgunning from the game. Pretty much kill Freezing Pulse and what's it called? Ice Spear. And then still have Monster Shotgun us. It defeats the purpose. You know, Parandus mobs last league were shotgunning people. I lost my best character to a shotgunning bug mechanic. Pohx is freaking nearly died to it. And then this league, Etup died to the shotgunning Combs Abyss multi-proj. Like, those are like little magma orbs. Why are they shotgunning? You know, things like that. It should not still shotgun, and I hope they go back and fix those. Like, really test everything that is a projectile and see if it's shotgunning or not. Or give us back old Freeze Pulse and Ice Spear, please. It's one or the other. If we're still having to put up with it, can we have our old skills back?
Yeah, if that's something OP, we want to have it too.
Yeah,
please.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think maybe just make it a little bit more clear. I think it's a little bit more like clarity and transparency on what will shotgun you and what won't. I think couldn't hurt, because then you can identify threats easier and like try play around them. But if just a monster shoots like a random barrage of projectiles, and some of them like will split arrow you, like the skellies that just hurts normally, and like then there comes a fire golem, they do an AoE overlap shotgun on you and just one shot you with 5 projectiles. Yep. Which can be a bit. I think it can feel a bit frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean AoE overlap. You know, it's kind of like the new shotgun, and it feels sometimes like shotgun never went away, because players can still AoE overlap to like deadly effectiveness. We just need to see the Mathel wall for that, right? Like, and like, yeah, so lots of Frostwall shenanigans, lots of, whenever you AoE overlap with a skill, you basically do way too much damage. Q, Kinetic Blast, plus, you know, a wall or Frostwall again, just utterly destroys everything. But again, as a player, if it happens to you, it's kind of like the game's going normally and suddenly you die, and you're like, wait, what? Oh, I was against the wall.
Talk about power creep. Why don't we get mobs starting to use GMP Lightning Arrow with PS and Frostball Echo casters in the pack?
Cluster Trap Ice Trap.
Then people won't be talking about power creep anymore.
Yeah, Cluster Trap Ice Trap, please. I want that.
Cluster Trap Ice Trap multi-trap.
By a mob, like
boom,
full screen explosion, you're dead. Thank you. That would be funny.
That would actually be really funny to see a rare, like just a especially unique mob tagged to just crowd control. Like his sole job is just crowd control. He doesn't do anything else. Like he has permanent uptime on ball haste, like leap slams and frost walls everywhere.
How about like a support exile that supports other exiles?
Yeah, see,
you have like a guardian exile that can randomly spawn with another exile, gives them like insane auras and like starts cursing you and.
Oh, an exile pair.
Yeah, like 2 exiles.
Yeah, there we go. See, that would be
cool.
That'd be sick.
I think like
a new map.
I think like a monster that has lots of auras, or an exile, as you say, that just hangs back and like buffs the hell out of everybody else and makes them scary. So to the point where you actually kind of want to like go around to the back and kill that supporting monster could provide like really interesting gameplay. I think so too. I think it'd be great. I mean,
I like it because right now we have shrines where you know where the source is. It's just the shrine. You just tag the shrine. It's done. You don't have to kill anything. You just have to get to the shrine, collect the buff, and you're done. You have a tormented spirit and inhabit something, and then you have totems which give auras. But having like an actual monster, like we said, we don't really see. I think the closest to support we get for a monster is like a necromancer, raises his minions. There's another one that like corpse explosion, etc. But I think it'd be really cool.
So this.
I mean, that.
Oh, sorry. This ring.
No, go ahead.
My mic is good, man. Like I've messed with this thing like 80 times. All right. I'm gonna talk and not moving my face. All right. So. With all this stuff, I think there might be in tune with a new rebalance. And I came up with this theory the other day that if they removed Invasion League from Zana, correct? There's no Invasion League mod for her. And they're retuning a lot of monster AI, and the league that was criticized most, was Invasion Launch. And if that league was criticized most, maybe they're possibly retuning some of the old Invasion bosses. God damn. All right, there's no automatic check. Let me say this again. Hopefully it's loud and clear. Maybe they're going back and retuning some of the old invasion bosses. You know, Zana map mod is out of the game. There is no invasion boss in Zana, and hopefully they're going back and retuning those, because that league on launch was not tuned. But then when they retuned it, it was like one of everybody's favorite leagues, and I hope we can get that again.
I want Invasion to come back. Like, I know Invasion was at the beginning the worst league ever. But like I think people experienced this in Flashback. But after they retuned the invasion bosses, they're actually pretty damn fun now. Yep. So I mean, I would love to see a return to invasion bosses, even having like a spawn frequency equal to Exiles, where every now and then they're just a nasty surprise in maps. If they drop nice loot, I think it's a win-win for everybody. I'd love to see their return in some form, or at the very least as like a map mod that you can roll.
Yep.
Yeah. I think as a map mod is where I can see it as well, like being
Yeah,
happening.
map
So
mod.
you know there will be an invasion boss, because they sometimes when they randomly appear, I think they can still, as in the current state, can feel slightly unfair. But if you know map has one original invasion boss, I think you can be prepared and advance a bit more carefully. So like not what's called the Oskikati, the skeleton just one shots you randomly in the skeleton packs because he was hiding. Oskikati,
Yep,
he's like
Oskikati.
bonk,
Happened to me.
boosh, dead.
Yeah, dude. Pox has a nickname for him. Pox, would you like to disclose everyone the nickname of Asakati?
Shitakati. He makes me shit himself when he hits
Simple,
people.
I like it.
Just thump standard league. That's literally what it is.
I might have had some less than masculine screams when encountering that guy. Yeah.
Can you,
Yep,
scary,
I think
yeah.
we've all been there. He lifts his
didn't
mace
have-
and you
Hold on.
see him too late.
You just said that you got rid of your man card when fighting him, Angry. Can we hear the less than manly scream?
I'm not that guy. I don't eat bananas. I'm not going to eat a banana for the podcast. I'm not going to scream for the podcast.
My man, I appreciate that. No sellout. Fuck that shit. I'm cool with that, man. I appreciate
Come to
it.
my stream to see that shit. I mean, no.
Hey,
never.
where can they find you? Where can they find you then?
Oh yeah, you can see my actually I guess people don't really know. Maybe some people don't know who I am because I disappeared for a while. I didn't stream basically for like 4 months or something because I was restructuring my life so that I could actually start streaming full time. Moved to a new city, got a new part-time job so I could actually stream 6 days a week. Do it properly, and it's actually been amazing. Like being able to stream consistently and not be super tired after like a long day of work has just made streaming so much better. So you can check me out at Twitch AngryAA, and it's good to be back. What can I say? And it's good to be
Listen to
playing
less than manly screams.
Yeah. I have that problem, right, where like if I'm in an intense situation in hardcore, all sort of self-control kind of just goes away, and I'm like, instead of like more.
There it is.
No juice
Like, damn
drinking. That was on his own damn free will. I appreciate that. Also, with that said, Angry AA, I have a viewer named Shaka Khan who's been subbed to me for like over 2 years, and he talks so highly of you. And like when you came back, seeing your name in my stream again, I was like, yes, the classic summoner, man. The man who defined classic summoners and farming merciless dominance. It's so good to have you back. Cheers.
Yeah, man,
And he
well,
still does. His summoner build is still like his last summoner build is still like the up-to-date be-all end-all of summoner builds. The Izaurus, what's it called? The charity summoner?
Victoria's charity. Yeah.
Victoria's charity, that one. Yeah,
You
that
know
thing's-
what?
Yeah, I played that shit. It was awesome.
All right, so
Yep.
in the
I wanna play that
essence,
too.
in the essence of flow, let's go to the next part, Uber Lab, because we're talking Angry AA here. We might as well just skip around. We'll go back to performance issues. Angry AA was known for farming merciless dominance and making people. He like farmed that to like level 88, back when the highest tier map was 78, and now he's doing Uber Lab the same way he did merciless dominance. Angry AA, explain to us your Uber Lab farming, please.
Okay, yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I decided I want to make like a CI character, and for that I need tons of money. I want money. I like money. Money is great. So I decided I'm going to farm the Uber Lab because it looks like it's got quite a high profit potential, probably even more than Uber at Ziri. And I was like, I need to build a character that will just totally destroy the Uber Labyrinth. So I did some theory crafting, and I needed to do this on a budget because A, I didn't have money, and B, I wanted to make a character that could do it in like a new league. So I ended up coming up with Juggernaut, right? Juggernaut Marauder using Earthquake and like a Morohi. Morohis are really cheap right now in Prophecy. They're like 6 chaos. So it's like basically your endgame weapon does tons of damage. Belly of the Beast, 6 chaos, huge amounts of HP. I went into the Uber Labyrinth at level 79 and absolutely trashed that place. The thing is what Juggernaut's really good at doing is mitigating physical damage, having an enormous amounts of HP regen, and not getting slowed down by anything. And all 3 of these things are perfect in the Uber Labyrinth, right? Not being slowed down by temporal chains, auras, not being immobilized by traps, and my character has like 1,000 HP a second regen. So he gives absolutely zero shits about traps. I literally just walk through seriously, I walk through the trap gauntlet without dodging any traps, and my life doesn't go down. Like, I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I really don't care about traps. So it's great because even if you're tired, if you're not paying attention, doesn't matter. Just walk through. And like I got 9 endurance charges, and I'm using the new unique Combs Way, which gives you 0.4% regen per endurance charge. And then ultimately the super broken thing about Juggernaut, what makes it so broken for farming Uberlab, is the new passive. I think it's called, what's it called? Unbreakable, Undeniable, or something. It's called Unrelenting. Unrelenting. But whenever you gain 1 endurance charge, instead you gain up to your maximum. And basically what this means is that you can just maintain 9+ endurance charges all the time, right? All the time. And it means I can just like face tank Merciless Azara. If Merciless Azara, Uberlab Azara, if he doesn't one-shot you, he can't kill you. Because like I get like a 7-second duration Immortal Call, and as soon as that Immortal Call duration is over, I can get a new one that starts. So you basically, physical damage can't harm you. You're basically immune to physical damage as long as you don't get one-shot, which is incredible, right? And it's just destroyed the Uberlab. I've made so much money. Like I farmed it for 1 day. I made more money than I can count, man. It's ridiculous. Like you get so many things from the Uber Labyrinth. You get red maps, right? I got a whole red map base. I got over like 15 sacrifice fragments. I have 2 stash tabs full of 15% quality gems. I found an Exalted Orb. I found 6 corrupted 6 links. I found tons of currency. I found divination cards, including the Time Lost Relic divination card, which gives you access to League-exclusive uniques. I think it only drops in the Uber Labyrinth, maybe, because I only see like 4 or 5 in Hardcore. It's just like lots and lots of different things. So like your market like of items that you're selling is very varied, and it's just incredible. I'm loving the fact that I get to do something that's super cool and awesome that isn't farming maps. So I like mapping, but I like to do other things as well. So I can like hop in my lab farming character and just crush the lab max treasure key runs with this Juggernaut who just doesn't care at all about Azara's damage and just make a ton of money. It's great. So much fun. Loving farming the Uber Labyrinth so much. Such a great addition to the game.
Did you mention maps at all, Angry? Did you mention the maps that
drop
in there?
Go
ahead.
Go ahead, Zeno.
One of the rewards you can get from these chests is like red maps, just tons of red maps, and it's a 75 map instance. So you're getting good experience while you're in there. But one of the chests is red maps. How many red maps do you have, Angry?
I got like 10, right? And I did farm the Uber Labyrinth for 12 hours. I guess some people got more than me, so I guess I was maybe a little bit unlucky. I would hazard on average you may be getting 1 red map an hour farming the Uber Labyrinth. It's not like necessarily amazing, but what I like about it is this. You have no maps, you haven't been mapping a lot. You can farm the Uber Labyrinth for a day, and bang, you've got a map pool. You know, you've got a red map pool. Like I have a red map pool, and I haven't like done higher than like a tier 8 map this whole league. You know, and I have like 6 tier 12s and 4 tier 13s. It's like, it's fantastic, right? I just love that flexibility and that you can go there to get maps. If you grind it like dedicated for 1 day, you'll get a bunch of red maps no matter what. And I love that aspect.
You can skip
raise
the
an
whole tier
alternate
of maps.
path.
I mean, you get more red maps than I have, and I'm mapping.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
yeah, because I've got a level 89 character and 83, and I've gotten only a few red map drops, so that's pretty awesome. I remember I used to farm Vinctor before, because in Vinctor you could get red map drops, but this is something else totally like completely opposite as well, which like you said has nothing to do with mapping, but contributes so much to end game, which I think is such a cool concept. Yeah. And this isn't even you didn't even talk about the enchants either.
Oh
like, yeah. At the end you get an enchant, right? So
you get 2 enchants if you do it right.
And you get your last 2 ascendancy points, which everyone strives for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I should mention this to people is it's not just that's just icing on the cake. The real big money potentially is enchants, right? And because there's prophecy, there's 2 prophecies that are quite relevant for farming the Uber Labyrinth. The first one is twice enchanted, which allows you to use the enchanting device in the Uber Labyrinth twice, right? You can buy. I was buying this on Hardcore for like 1 to 3 chaos because people are like, oh, I don't really care about this, whatever, right? I don't think it's very valuable. And so literally every run I did, 2 enchants, right? Straight up, I'd buy item level 84 helms and hubrises. I sold 1 helm for 2x, sell a couple of helms for 1x. Easy, fantastic money. And like, it's nice to have the flexibility to go, oh, like I got like this really cool helm enchant. I could make a build around this, like, oh, Arc 4 additional times. Like I'm going to make an Arc character because this is going to be OP, right? So that's quite cool. And then the other thing is you can get an extra treasure key from Azara, which can be quite a big deal because it's more chance at maps, more chance at sacrifice fragments, gems, yada, 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 right? And so I've been abusing the prophecies hardcore, picking them up really cheap and using that to run the lab. And of course, like the final bit of income, I guess, is selling boosts. Like people are really scared of Azari. He hits really hard. I mean, I think rumor says he hits for about 10k unmitigated, right? So people are scared. So if you can boost people with a good Uber Labyrinth character, you can make pretty good money from boosting.
How much money have you made? Because people want to know.
I would. It's difficult, right? Because like I still have a couple of really good helm enchantments that I've been sitting on for high prices, kind of waiting for people to cough up the cash. But if I was to say the actual money I've made, I farmed the labyrinth for 12 hours, and I think I've made about 9x total.
Jeez. And
so
how much would you say is in boosting? Just boosting players.
About
what
1x.
do you charge? 1x. Okay, so you still make something for nothing. Something you were going to do anyways.
And the other thing was I was charging people labyrinth keys. So labyrinth keys cost about 5 to 7 chaos per labyrinth key. So people often are kind of poor, but they have a couple of labyrinth keys lying around. So I'm like, hey, give me 2 labyrinth keys, and I'll boost you. And so what it does is it kind of perpetuate. Firstly, it doesn't feel like a lot of money to them, even though it ends up being about 12 to 14 chaos. But the main thing is it keeps your lab run smooth. Like, so it means you've always got keys to fund the machine, right? And you don't have to worry about trying to buy them off PoE trade so much. So it's quite nice.
It's like ItsYoji farming 3.0, you know? It's freaking
So we've talked about like, the best case scenario here with Angry with like, you know, a full armor, high regen build. Have any of you guys played like the opposite side of the spectrum, I guess, you know, your spellcaster builds that don't really have any physical mitigation to speak of that works in Labyrinth? Have any guys done endgame lab with that?
Yes. I died on a Flame Blaster in there, and I was playing this edgy Flame Blaster build. It was I was level 88, level freaking 88. After all this mapping, I'm cruising through maps, good clear speed in like high tier maps, red maps even. Azaro just dunked me, like straight up dunked me, and I was like, I had Enfeeble Aura on, you know, it was like I had Enfeeble Temp Chains, and these that didn't matter, and it's like. I said, screw it. I'm just going to go back to what I play best, tanks. Like, it was cool playing a spellcaster, but I'm just going to go back to playing a tank, because if I was a Marauder in there, that would not have happened. So I'm making my tank character now.
I've definitely experienced the same thing. I was rocking the Vortex character with just slightly under 5k HP and Enfeeble Temp Chains, and one shot by the the arc, you know, the cleave thing he does, the Reeve or whatever it is. Yeah. So it's definitely a tough challenge to overcome for your your non-physical mitigation specs. Yep. So evasion characters are inherently risky in there, you know, as they usually are. But and then spellcasters that don't have, you know, much evasion or any physical mitigation, you know, besides your Enfeeble, and obviously he's highly resilient to Enfeeble being a boss, right? It's like whatever, like 1/3 effectiveness. So it's definitely a challenge, differently to how it is for AngryAA with this high armor, high regen build, for sure.
I mean, the Juggernaut is that. It's the essence of Juggernaut he's embracing.
Yeah.
I'm currently preparing for the Uber Lab, basically, because I'm an evasion character. I did the trials, and I actually have to give a damn about the trials, because they hurt my character quite a lot. I don't have much regen. I have like 4% something regen, all the regen on the right side, basically, as a bow character. And yeah, they do hurt. They do hurt a lot. I can skip a lot with Blink Arrow. Blink Arrow is actually pretty good for trials, I found. But yeah, from what I've seen so far with Zaro, before I got my Kintsugi ready, and my life is now ready as well. I'm not going to go in there. I think Kintsugi might be really good, because it mitigates a hit every so often, but he's not hitting fast, right? He just hits really hard, really slowly. I think it might be what I need before I feel like, okay, I can actually go in there. That's basically my plan for that. But yeah, until now, didn't do it. I'm level 90, got all trials self-found done. And I'm basically waiting for that chess piece to link finally, and then I can go.
There you go.
Yeah, I feel like Uber Labyrinth is like really polarized. It's like all physical damage, you know, like so much physical damage and very little elemental. So like if you're a character that's really good at mitigating physical, you can go in at like seriously, I went at level 79, no problem. I could have gone in probably earlier. But if you're not very good at mitigating physical, you kind of need to go in at like level 90. Like I'm not even exaggerating. Like level 90 might be appropriate, unless you're getting a boost. So it does feel a bit weird. Like I enjoyed the fact that I could build a character that specializes at this, like ItsYoji, right? I enjoy that challenge, but at the same time, should the Uber Labyrinth really be that experience, a specialist experience? Because isn't everyone kind of meant to get their 2 points? So that I feel a bit.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. How much of the player base do you think is going to get like Uber Lab done? Because I feel like it's going to be a tiny fraction of the player base that will get Uber Lab done on most characters.
Especially by themselves, yeah. I don't think it's going to be too much.
Yeah.
Like I'm as an evasion character right now, and evasion is still very popular. I'm pretty much struggling. I played like every day, like I don't know, 8 to 10 hours or something last week. And I'm playing casually, but I'm still not feeling ready for it yet, in hardcore at least. And Softcore probably would have given it a few goes. Maybe I've done it, maybe I've not have done it. I don't know. I think Ziggy, you probably have as well.
With your Taste of Hate, you should be fine. Taste of Hate, Granite. I'm sure with those two, you'll be all right. Or Basalt.
Yeah,
I'm
Taste of
pretty-
Hate Basalt is basically the plan.
You are the flask finder, so you should have
Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah, especially now I switched to what's it called? Barrage. It's called. It hits so rapidly that my surgeon fills up the Taste of Hate so fast, and it knocks back bosses to the wall as well with the bow node with King of the Hill. It's like boss killing is pretty good on the character now. I optimized it a little bit, and it's basically flasks going up like bzz, 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 and I can use them sometimes. They don't even consume flask charges because I have a 20% chance for that happening. It's pretty absurd. So I don't know if he can be knocked back though. I don't know if he can knock Izara back. I didn't try that.
No.
If he's immune, if he's immune, which he hopefully is, because otherwise the fight would probably be him sitting in a wall.
Yeah, I think he's immune to it.
Yeah, I think so.
So with that said, we heard about Angry's Juggernaut. Yoji, you're playing the Pathfinder. What is your experiences with the Pathfinder this league, man?
The Pathfinder, I've seen a lot of Pathfinders, first of all. Pathfinder last league used to be like this class everyone thought out about, hey, that's pretty OP, right? Everyone knows flasks were OP, but you didn't really ever see many Pathfinders. Now, whenever I'm trading, I'm seeing so many Pathfinders, it's pretty ridiculous. And I'm a Pathfinder as well, and it is actually that OP. Leveling was a bit of a struggle because the 2-point nodes on the Pathfinder tree don't really give you all that much. But once you get that second ascendancy, that Master Surgeon gives you 10% chance to gain a flask charge on crit on every flask, even unique flasks. That basically means permanent uptime of all your flasks as soon as you get a good crit bow, like Death's Opus, which was pretty nice. And after that, I was just, permanent Taste of Hate uptime. I got my Taste of Hate really early. I found a Kaum's Heart, traded it with someone racing the ladder for currency and got a Taste of Hate. And now I'm just rocking that permanent uptime Taste of Hate, permanent uptime Diamond Flask. Diamond Flask is basically working for me as a refill flask for the others because it basically doubles my crit roll. You rolled crit twice. And that fuels all my flasks. I'm running only one life flask. I have no problem at all with that, getting all the nice flask nodes on the tree. And it's really insane. Like 9-second Taste of Hate, 10-second Onslaught Flask, for example. I have that. That's pretty crazy. Like, press a flask button that doesn't even consume charges. 10 seconds of Onslaught. I take that. All my charges, all my flasks remove bleed. Soon that they will also all remove all status ailment and make me immune. That's when I get wild packed in the Vinctus, and I think then I should be fine for basically any content. And you also get that little tiny funny note that gives you flask charges just passively. That's really nice if you find yourself stuck in a trial and you're out of flask charges. You just sit there for a minute and then you're full again.
Up. Yeah.
It just goes up by itself. It's really funny. If you really mess up really hard. Yeah, if you really mess up, you just go make a sandwich, come back, and your flasks are full again. But what I really found to be nice as well is the 8% reduced elemental damage taken, which basically translates to 2 all res if you're at 75 res. That's really good.
That seems good.
Yeah, seems good.
Seems good. Dang meaning. All right, so if you guys don't mind, AngryAA and Yoji, where can they AngryAA first? Where can they people find your builds?
So I haven't actually made a guide yet per se. Unfortunately, I was going to say really busy, but mainly really lazy. But what I'll do is I'll link the character in chat just so people can take a look at it, so they can figure out stuff from there.
And then
I will be.
YouTube, you will be making.
I'll save that link.
Yeah, cool. I will be making a guide in detail and make a video as well. So I'll be catching up on that soon.
And Yoji, where can we find your Pathfinder?
My Pathfinder, first of all, my stream, of course. I'm playing that character, still alive, it's level 90, still going strong. Soon in the Uber Lab. It's going to be pretty cool. Twitch.tv/ItsYoji, as always. And on YouTube, I've made 2 updates so far. I made like my initial planning, and then I made 1 update video where it is still a split arrow character. And probably like tomorrow on Thursday, and Tuesday is going to be the next update. That's youtube.com/ItsYoji, and there will be more Pathfinder content. And finally, like when the build is finally completely finished, there will be a full build guide as well with all the editing shenanigans as always.
Nice.
Let's kick things off over there to Pohx. So Pohx, you've been a little bit quiet, and you've played a couple builds this league. You're on your 3rd one right now, or your 4th. And I've seen some third build.
Third.
All 3 of your characters have been freaking OP and game-breakingly awesome. And they're all just deeps, of course. You want to talk about it?
Deeps, man. Well, I kind of went back because like everyone said Inquisitor like when it first came out, and then it kind of like died off because like everyone's playing all the new stuff. But I was sticking with Inquisitor, man, because I think Inquisitor is sick. So I had my Inquisitor Blade Vortexer using Moonbender, which is an axe, because the axe gives 25% of physical is converted to lightning, and 25% of physical is converted to cold. And then you use Fizz the Lightning, and now you have pure elemental damage. And I use that on him, on my Blade Vortexer, and he just destroys pretty much everything. And that's a lot of fun. But then I went over to a Assassin crit puncture bow character, and I wanted to see how far I could get with a Death Opus. And I can run red maps with a Death Opus and don't really have any issues at all. Bosses die 2 to 3 hits, it's no problem. Just dead. And then the new guy I'm going on is an elemental hit guy going back to Inquisitor using the new... What is the bow again? I always forget which one it is. No, not Death Opus. The elemental one. The new one. Doom Pledge. There you go, Doom Pledge's Prism. I'm trying out with elemental hit to see how far I could get that going. Because, you know, if you make a build, it's got to be budget, all right? Even if it's elemental hit, you got to make a budget. That's the rules. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna turn out pretty well.
So you're playing elemental hit as what class?
As Templar.
As an Inquisitor? Because who
Templar
cares about
Inquisitor.
penetration?
Yeah, exactly. Just bypass it all, penetrate to 0. I'm doing random elements all the time, so how about everything just always hits pure? There you go. So the only problem is it's gonna cost like 80 mana or something, which is gonna like I want old EV back so I can just get like 2k mana and just sustain it. Like it's like I was leveling with 2 Elrion rings. I've never used Elrion rings before because I'm like, guys, I don't care about Elrion. I'll just use a mana flask. And like I had like the most up-to-date mana flask leveling the whole way, and it just did not work. Like I had to pull out links when I'd fight bosses because I just couldn't sustain it. I had to drop my bow because it was too fast, and I'm just like, I can't get attack speed. I'm playing an elemental character, I can't get attack speed. Like I just too much. I'm so mad.
Worst skill in the game, so mana hungry.
No, it's okay so far. I mean, we'll see. It's so mad.
Yeah, the skill is so strong they had to balance it out by the high mana cost.
I know, it's like 12 mana at max level. Oh. Earthquake 6.
You guys, because Pohx has so much like elemental scaling, and monsters and red maps have such high resistance, with the Templar always penetrating resistance, and he just sacks crit multi. If you ever watch that character and he has Herald of Ice, all you hear is shatter. Just that's all you hear.
That's my
it's the
Blade
most
Vortex.
Beautiful thing I've ever seen in any game. It's just like white snowflakes shattering everything wherever he goes.
Because of the Blade Vortex Inquisitor, because of the what is it? You get Hatred, which is a good chunk of percentage cold off your physical, and Moonbender, and then you have Fizz the Lightning with Moonbender, which also gives you the 25% extra. So when you walk by, targets are shocked and frozen. And like in a low tier map, like up to probably like 72s, pretty much everything's frozen, including some bosses. Just freeze.
And I got the same experience right now as well. I'm playing Ice Shot, got a Taste of Fate, and Hatred, and Herald of Ice. Is also I mainly do cold damage. Cold resist maps are a little bit of a pain for me because I'm not penetrating all the things as a physical build. Why am I doing only cold damage? But yeah, everything else is pretty cool.
No, you mean Inquisitor? They don't give a shit.
Yeah, they don't give a shit at all. That's really cool.
Just get crit multi. That's it.
Yep. So you play Inquisitor.
All right. So Ziggy, what have you been playing, man? What have you been playing?
I started off with the new Vortex skill, you know, the Frostbolt Vortex, but quickly found that Frostbolt Vortex wasn't really worth using all that much, apart from like the occasional dangerous pack. So I did Frostbolt Vortex using like Dual Curse Blasphemy, eventually going to Tri-Curse Blasphemy, and holy shit, that skill, man! As a league starter, it's insane. I mean, it does more initial hit damage than Ice Nova in the same AoE, and it has a powerful degen that does just huge damage. So I tried to make a degen Vortex build, right? And it's become a living meme because I go around like one-shotting things, and because I'm using Pyro, everything just explodes into gore. So I'm playing a degen build that just walks around and one-shot stuff, so I don't actually ever get the degen anything. But I'm not even scaling the initial hit. I'm using like Rapid Decay. And I'm still one-shotting things to the initial hit. Yeah, the skill's super strong. But I mean, you're not like clearing the full screen in one go. What's going on, Pohx?
I think
Rip Pohx.
Rip Pohx.
Too purple. Can't handle the purpleness.
ItsYoji, if you're gonna say the color, can you please say it right?
Purple.
Thank you.
Purple.
So yeah, I started off with that, and it's a solid league starter. I mean, Elementalist anything is a pretty solid league starter, but Elementalist Vortex was really good. Made some nice cash with that, and I've sunk that cash into getting the new bow, Reach of the Council, and I'm making a puncture build, which I always wanted to make a puncture build, man, but it was never really worth using. GMP puncture was just too much damage loss. But now that you got the 4 extra arrows, I mean, I rock around punching everything. It's awesome.
Have you gotten to use that bow yet?
Yeah, I just switched into it yesterday. So I'm playing Assassin using the 100% more bleed against maimed enemies using Puncture, and the 100% more poison against if you crit. So it's looking pretty good so far. I haven't got the crit multi-crit chance node yet. I get that from Uber Lab, but I have the poison and bleed nodes, and it's pretty tremendous damage. It's cool. It's not like, I don't think it's ever really going to be the highest clear speed, but you can always chuck in like LMP, and it still does even pretty decent damage with GMP in a large area for general clearing. So you can like sub out slower projectiles for like LMP or something just for general clearing. So it's not like the fastest clear speed because you're using like a PS puncture setup, but it's so fun for killing bosses with. You shoot them. I curse them with vulnerability, which triple dips on bleed and double dips on poison. And then you just shoot them like 3 times to get all the procs off, and then just go die.
It's nuts. So
you were playing something similar, right? Lots of people were telling me you were playing.
Yeah, I didn't even know that you were doing. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Yoji?
No, just what was wondering. But does triple dip because it does physical and dot?
Yeah,
right?
so vulnerability.
Because it's physical degen. I just
yeah.
understood. I was like triple dipping, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't ever think of
initial
that.
hit, physical degen, and it's a degen, so it gets like 100% more damage from vulnerability.
Yeah, just
pretty
push
good.
like bleed so far away. It's like I'm all about poison last league, and now apparently bleed is
know
back
what?
as well.
Bleed is
Check
really
this
good.
out. You know what's really imbalanced? Vortex's upfront damage is as much as Cold Snap. It also applies a cold degen. You put on fire, and then now you're doing fire damage. But you're an elementalist, and you could still ignite, and you're shocking. But then you put on 2 consuming darks, and now you're poisoning. And elemental's elemental conflux is based off of overall total damage, so it doesn't give a fuck about your chaos damage. So upfront damage, vortex degen, ignite shock from elementalist, poison. And you just scale them all from area damage, global damage, damage over time, and you're quadruple dipping. Balance
and
mechanic.
then you rock elemental equilibrium, so your degen is getting the 50% increased from the initial hit being fire.
Yeah.
It is pretty bloody nice. And yeah, that Pyre
So
combo
much.
with elemental equilibrium is very nice. It's pretty good skill.
It's literally a
Solid skill. It's good fun to play too.
I was
looks
actually
cool.
wondering what the kind of applications for Vortex would be with cast and crit. I haven't really seen anyone do it to great success yet, but I
I've seen
imagine
a
it
few
must be
people
amazing.
testing
right?
it, yeah. It seems like it kind of people doing like custom crit frostbolt stuff, and it mostly kind of like seems a bit erratic in where it procs. Like it's not always on the enemy, right? Because it will cast and trigger the nearby things or something. So it's a bit weird. But are you talking about more like a kind of like a custom crit discharge build? Because the skill is kind of remarkably similar to playing discharge, actually.
Yeah.
So you mean like
That's
doing
what-
like custom crit discharge or something with Vortex?
Vortex
Yeah,
on a
yeah, yeah.
trap or a miner would be ridiculous because of all the quadruple dipping nodes.
I think trap is really good for it. Yeah.
And you're at range because it's really clunky when you self-cast it. It's like really weird feeling. But you throw that, who gives a shit? You get all that AoE and Saboteur, gives a shit.
Seems nice.
Good point. Yeah. Traps could be good.
Yeah. Pox, that's up to you.
I know.
Yeah,
I've
the
already
expert here.
I've already theory crafted. I feel like that one of the best ways to do it, because like if you want to scale the damage over time, then going crit doesn't really matter because it's its own separate thing. It's not based off the initial, which leads me to believe if you want to go damage over time, you want to go poison. And I like really want to just stay away from consuming darks right now. So I'm not like I look at a consuming dark, I just get mad. And I'm just like, I just don't want to play it. So that's all. But I have to see. And then it's like play it as elementalist too, and like that's what everyone's playing. So it hits me hard. Other than that though, it's okay. Because I tried like a max AoE one, and it was pretty good. Like just I wanted to see how big I can get it, and I had my vortex like about like 80% of the screen, playing as a saboteur, dropping your mind, using increased AoE with the carcass, and it was just like this like monster.
Sounds really cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Can we talk about... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Zeno.
I haven't talked about my build. Before I go into it, I played 2 builds and they were pretty good, but right now I want to, before I even talk about the build I'm playing now, I want to give full credit to Mathel as a shout out for playing Facebreaker first. I'm always the first guy to play Facebreaker. And everyone always says it sucks. Motherfucking Maltho, you are awesome, dude, Maltho. Thank you so much for exemplifying the shield charge Facebreaker and its true potential. The Juggernaut, man. Thank you. I'm playing it as a Raider, though. And I started off as shield charge, and I was like, man, I'm just not feeling it. I feel like I could just do more with Ice Crash. I played Ice Crash last league as a Juggernaut, and this go around I'm doing it as the Raider. I want to get a ton of armor, just like I did as a Juggernaut, but this time I'm going to have 11 Frenzy Charges. I took out faster attacks. I don't even need faster attacks in my setup with the slowest skill in the game. 1.0 weapon speed with 11 Frenzy Charges, and you just swing so fast. And on top of that, I'm going to be immune to all elemental status ailments with Avatar of the Veil, which in my opinion is the most underrated node in the tree. Avatar of the Veil gives you immunity to shock, chill, ignite, and freeze. On top of that, you get 28% movement speed along the way, 10% spell dodge, 6% dodge, and permanent phasing. You have phasing. It's super underrated. Super underrated. So, honestly, my experiences with the Raider this league, I think she's one of the most underrated classes in the game, and I can't wait to see what other potential she's got up her sleeve.
I think people are definitely coming to appreciate it. Towards the end of last league, people were like starting to realize, this phasing thing with this is pretty good now. And now that you can also get the Onslaught line and have like 58% move speed with it as well as the elemental immunity, it's pretty good. It's definitely one of the better ascendancies.
And then,
Indeed.
I played this, Facebreaker last week as the Juggernaut with a double armor chest piece. Mathel's playing the Slayer this go around to exemplify how insane that AoE is on shield charge, how broken that AoE is. He barely has to do anything and he hits the whole screen. So I can't wait to see, what other cool things these people have up on their sleeve. And I'm sure I will ask Mathel to come back on the show because that guy's a genius. So let's move on to performance improvements and issues, because that's something I may be experiencing a lot of late outside of Path of Exile. I don't understand, man. I don't understand. Like, you guys hear me fine.
Yep. Well, no, it's fine.
Yeah, you're loud and clear, man.
All right,
yeah,
let's go.
no mic issues for us. Yeah.
And it's on Windows. I don't know, whatever. Ziggy, would you like to talk about the performance improvements and issues that the performance improvements that were implemented this patch?
Yeah, so they did this asynchronous loading thing now, which has been, essentially it means that instead of having like a long load on boot and then on like creating zones and stuff, stuff's loaded in the background as you play. So it's made like a couple seconds loading time compared to a couple minutes for some people. There seems to have been some issues with the implementation with that for some people, so they've since implemented a way to turn that off. You can append a thing to the end of the shortcut to turn that off if you're having issues with it. And the other thing was they changed to a new sound engine as well, which had some initial issues initially when they first swapped over, but I think they've mostly fixed that now. And that actually fixed for a lot of people. If you're still playing on no sound, you should try playing with sound now, because they actually fixed the issues that the performance issues people were having with the sound engine previously. So that's been fixed. And I swear there was something else, wasn't there? Was it just the asynchronous loading and sound? I think it was just those two.
Yeah,
I think it's mainly that, yeah.
There's still some issues, but what are the issues that are proposed with this new change?
Well, I mean, there's been some. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a bit of a rough patch. I feel like we've had these like instance-wide freezes for upwards of 30 seconds at times. So some server issues and also some issues and stuttering and stuff caused by asynchronous loading. I've had some issues with the asynchronous loading.
So I actually got a chance to talk with Chris about this a little bit. The biggest problem was with Blade Vortex and Demons. Whenever a monster gains some sort of charge, frenzy, endurance, or whatever, it lags. Like, ever fight monkeys and all of a sudden they all gain frenzy charges and your screen like freezes for like a second? It's like that with demons, especially in the Zana Disco Demon map, as we've TM'd it, the Zana Disco Demon map. And then they used Blade Vortex, and the two of those combined were causing ridiculous crashes, and they fixed the Blade Vortex bug. And they also fixed the reverb bug, which was with a sound. So many people were crashing day one because they had reverb enabled. They are working on that kind of stuff in the future, and it is noted in the team. They're like, seriously, they're working around the clock for it. Chris had to leave he had to go on a business trip for a week, and before he left, he had made sure most of these things were implemented and what the team had to do before he left. So they are working on these kind of things, and right now it's going to get better. Anything else you guys would like to add, Ziggy?
I wanted to pop. Yeah, the Blade Vortex bug actually was really funny when the league first launched. Basically, anybody who was bad with Blade Vortex would always get disconnected because if you had one charge, just one single Blade Vortex charge, and it expired, you would crash. If you had two, it was okay. As long as you don't let it go to one and fall off, you did not crash.
So you better keep this charges up.
The build. The build was
You
too
gotta-
easy. So
you gotta make sure. Yeah, you gotta right click every like 7 seconds. You gotta make sure. Because everyone in my stream was like, "Pohx, how are you not crashing?" I'm like, "I don't know, man." And like everyone else is just playing Blade Vortex fall along. They're like crashing and crashing. And someone figured it out in my chat, and they're just like, "Let yourself just one." I'm like, "Why would you just one? Where's your echo?" They're like, "I don't have echo yet." So it was really funny.
Something I would like to add that I actually found the positive side of the whole thing's performance stuff is that stuff sounds really crisp this patch. I'm a very audiophile person. I love listening to music, and I love having like somewhat good sound setup, good headphones and stuff. And my favorite of all of them is Devourers popping up now make like this sound that they never really made that clear before.
It's
they always have like
scary.
a sound popping up, but the first times I had a group of Devourers popping under me, and they're going like I almost just locked out immediately because I was like, "What the hell is happening? Oh my god, this is so scary!" But it's okay. It's only Devourers. I mean, they're already scary, but they felt so much scary, and I was actually legit scared for a second there. And I love that. I love stuff sounding more crisp.
It definitely sounds better. Have you tried reverb on indoor maps?
Oh yeah,
Like try turning reverb on indoor maps. It's so weird, man. It's so weird. Like it's so echoey.
I love it.
It's like you can hear sounds like bouncing off the walls and shit. It trips me out. I had to turn it off. It was too much.
Yeah, I had to turn it off as well. I was using ice shot, and it has like this sound when it hits the wall or something. As I go, and I was like,
That sounds
Alright.
so
I'm like,
cool.
it's probably realistic. Like the shit would be loud in those little tunnels in the sewers, but it was too much, man.
I'm playing Ice Crash, and I just put on increased area of effect. And I'm not using conk. And you know what? Ice Crash is a 3-part explosion. And I'm a raider with insane attack speed. So all I hear is in my ear like all day. And I was like, I have to turn this off. Because it's so massive. And I have so much attack speed with the bro totem down. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And you're playing Earthquake,
good.
Angry. So I'm sure you're experiencing the same thing.
Earthquake sounds amazing. Like every time I earthquake, it's just like, and I'm like, it feels fantastic. I do love the new sounds. I mean, there are a few kinks, like SRS is like way too loud. So you're playing like a Summon Raging Spirits character, and you're just like, and you're just like, oh, make it stop. But like overall, I would say the sound is a massive improvement. That being said, like, you know, I did lose a hardcore character to 3-second screen freeze. So, you know, the PJ Salt is flowing on me from that. And like, a part of me is just like, couldn't they have released the performance upgrades a week before Prophecy, and then had like all the kinks ironed out for launch, so like we didn't have to deal with like I had like issues with OBS processing PoE sound. I had to disable the game sound because I was getting popping sounds from my audience, and like I died, you know, like I lost my hardcore character due to background preloading before there was a command to disable it. So I was just like you know, we could have just I wouldn't mind of dying to this in the last week of Piranhas. That would have been great, you know, no problem. Because and just getting everything sorted out nicely smooth for Prophecy, I think it just would have been nicer. Yeah, that's like my only real criticism.
Yeah. I hope in the future that they schedule for that to happen, because I know for a fact that they were still working on these things like in the days leading up to the patch, so it wouldn't have been possible with like the way the timing worked out this time for them to be able to do that. But hopefully they schedule so that they have this stuff ready a week in advance and do that, because I think it actually probably does. You get a lot of new people coming in with a new patch, right? And a percentage of those people are going to be turned off by, you know, the game freezing for 30 seconds.
Yes.
Probably.
My
Let's
biggest
be
issue with
honest.
it is if you're going to release a brand new sound pack, you probably shouldn't release it when you change a lot of the monsters, like the way how they walk. Like, you ever go to Alira's area now? The monsters actually, like, you know, the guys that used to run up and explode on you, they have a whole new like fluid motion that's different than what we're used to seeing. The bandits that bang their shield, they have a new animation as well. They like enhance a lot of the graphics, the art. And if they're going to be doing this, implementing new sound at the same time will cause a lot of crashing because they haven't tested that yet. And I agree with you, AngryAA. Hopefully in the future, they can make it a week earlier. But to be honest, this is the best league we've had to date. Not even Prophecy, just the retuning of things, making the art is better and the sound is better. And that's what this game is needed. So my prediction is, are we going to like, perhaps until you ascend, you'll still play as the old character model of the Ranger, And then when you ascend into the Raider, do you get a new graphic for the Raider? Is that something we might get in the future? Or when you're playing the Juggernaut like AngryAA, you'll look like the dumpy Marauder, the default Marauder graphic, and eventually are we going to have a Juggernaut model? Like, is that what this game is becoming? Are the new next Forsaken Masters, are they going to ascend as well with us? We don't know what's to come. There's so many ideas that they could take this ascendancy with in terms of art and in terms of new gameplay. And I really hope GG does a good job doing this, because this league is the most fun I've had since probably Invasion being tuned, personally. What are your thoughts, Ziggy?
Wow.
I've been kind of discussing that on stream a bit lately. Like, it's hard to tell through the nostalgia for old stuff. Like, I still remember when Nemesis was adding, like, being blown away by that shit. But, like, actually trying to look at the actual, like, prophecy itself, I think this is probably the most engaging league they've made so far. Like, it's designed well in that it's completely optional. You're not forced into running into Piranus mobs or invasion bosses all the time. But if you do want to engage with it, it is very engaging. Like, the variety in them and the actual, like, hunting down of uniques and the different things you can do. They interact with crafting, and I like the actual prophecy mechanic. I think is really good and would be really suitable to the core game as well. So I think this is probably one of the best leagues they've put together, if not the best. I mean, I feel like we say that every league, which is a good thing. It's probably a good thing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah,
Piranha's mobs definitely made me grind some gears. I'm not gonna lie. Kadira was cool. I love Prophecy though. I love it because going back to what Angry was doing, it literally you can choose to make it affect everything you do, or you can choose to make it affect nothing. You know, Angry, like, his Prophecy has nothing to do with what I do. Like, I didn't even see a vision, like an extra treasure key. Whoop-de-doo. Like, what am I ever gonna do with this? So, like, it was nothing to me. But he's running Uber Lab. That extra treasure key could be an extra red map or an extra couple red map, you know, depending on the RNG of what happens. Whereas me, I'm just like, you know, map boss guarantees a drop, or sorry, yeah, map boss guarantees a map drop, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then to other people who are probably just, I don't know, collecting items or farming other stuff, it's like the Prophecy has so many different uses of it. I still think it needs to be tweaked a bit, but I think it's really, really cool.
Yeah, there's definitely some improvements to be made. Like, I feel like some of the quests, like having to backtrack, can feel a bit weird. You know, like you're just finishing up like Act 3 Merciless, and they're like, go to Act 1 and like kill some golden elementals, and you're like, dude, like the zone level's like 6 levels below me. All this stuff is really easy, and it feels a bit inappropriate. But when Prophecy works, it's fantastic. Like, you know, you're like randomly going in, you suddenly get ambushed, and you're like, holy shit, that was like really intense, right? Or, you know, you kill that random exile and you get like full rare loot, and you're like, oh, that was pretty good. And when you get into the economic implications, it gets even more interesting when you start actually like understanding the Prophecy mechanics and start abusing it. Like I was, you know, like abusing the cheap prophecies to get like really powerful Uber Lab runs. Or what people are realizing is that fusings have decreased in value quite markedly because of the new linking prophecies. Like, there's a Jeweler's Touch, which just like one Jeweler, your item is 5 linked, right? Yeah. And not only this, like that prophecy is increasing the popularity of certain items, because now you can just buy an item, buy the prophecy, bang, it's linked. There's no risk, and now there's like another interesting economic implication right now. Now that fusings are so cheap, people are like, maybe I should buy fusings and try and make a cheap 6 link, right? So there's like, I love those kind of layers. Like when the system is interesting, but then as time goes by, you start to learn it and understand it more, and you can start to exploit it. And that's what I think PoE is all about, right? Like learning the layered mechanics, and then once you master them, you can really do amazing things. So it's such a fantastic league for that. And that's why I think, from a design perspective, I think it's the best league ever designed.
When was the last time fusings were their value was changed or was altered? Like, fusing orbs.
They've been super stable. Like 2-to-1 was like the only thing you could rely on, even when the Exalted also were going from 30 to 60 chaos in a week and back.
Right.
You could always rely on the 2-to-1 fusings until now, and I was really surprised to see that change. But yeah, the linking prophecies definitely make sense for that.
So something I want to discuss with Prophecy is that the person who had his hands in this is the first time that the best of my knowledge, that he's really messed around with a league, at least for a while. Chris told us it was Rory. The guy who does the passive skill tree, used to make uniques, he made Whispering Ice, the Ascendancy classes. Rory had his hand involved with the Monster Retune and the entire Prophecy League. And my hat's off to you, Rory. This league is great. And instead of just giving a global monster damage buff to counter that of the Ascendancy power creep, you instead gave the power creep back to the game instead of just like, well, watch out for Sub-Fizz Devours. We still have to watch out for them, but the Sparkers are now scary too. So the league is just really well done and well designed. So cheers to you, Rory.
Yeah, one thing I can add to the league is that I actually, for my first character, I actually took it casually because I'm not really pushing ladder. I call it gently nudging ladder, but I'm not really pushing it. And I was just going out of my way to actually explore prophecies while leveling quite a bit, and it was probably the most fun I had while leveling in this game for quite a bit. A lot of people just want to rush to end game and just want to see the end game, and everything, that's all they care about. But if you actually go out of your way a little bit during prophecy, and you can find some pretty cool encounters, you can also get some powerful like what's it called, faded uniques and stuff to help you leveling. But it's mostly about like really nice encounters, like the Brutus supported by Chevron's Ghost. That was a really cool fight when I did that, like while leveling with not having perfect gear, actually struggling to get like lightning res cap because I was a bit scared about the lightning damage. That was something I normally while leveling is just like get through that stuff, get done, get to maps, get where the fun is. But the fun is actually in leveling if you want it there. If you not only care about getting the currency, you can have so much fun while leveling in prophecy. Just for everyone who's just a little bit bored maybe of endgame, try that out. It's really fun.
Definitely take a character through and run prophecies while leveling, because it's like its own experience that you'll miss otherwise, and don't miss that, because prophecy might not get incorporated into the core game. I hope it does, but it might not, so give that a go. Like if he's kind of skipped over it, saving it for endgame like I know a bunch of people did, then actually give it a go while leveling, because there's a bunch of cool leveling ones, like you said, like there's like the twin Brutuses, right? Brutus and Cole together on the Brutus.
Oh yeah. Those buddies, man, they smash you, double smash you. But I have actually a very strong opinion on incorporating prophecy into the core game, because I think they have so many levels to tune prophecy. They can tune coin drop rate. They can tune prices of sealing prophecies if they want to. They can take out prophecies or put new ones in if they find certain ones too powerful. Make them rarer, make them less rare. It would be a real shame if they didn't incorporate it. It's just an NPC in town, and it's just like a random drop you sometimes find. It would be, I think, not incorporating it would be a very weird choice or just a bit lazy. I would be very sad to not see it return.
So I'm like 100% for them incorporating it. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
So, I want to see that.
AngryAA, I have a question for you. What do you think about having her in the hideout? Because when you're in maps, going to Act 4 to talk to her is a little bit frustrating. What are your thoughts about having Navali inside of the hideout?
Who's going to disagree with that?
I think bring her in, man. Bring her in. Like, I mean, it feels kind of natural to have her in the hideout, right? And I mean, you could even make her have like a daily prophecy that's free. You know, it's just to get people kind of into it. The first one's always free, guys. You know, you get a free prophecy. I would like it that like once you get to like, I don't know, a certain point in the game, Navali only gives you endgame prophecies for your endgame character. So, because at the moment, I don't know, I feel I just kind of get annoyed when I get prophecies I don't care about, like the going back to like Act 1 Merciless and doing something. But and maybe when you get to a certain point, maybe even when you complete a certain prophecy chain, she becomes like hideout Navali, right? Endgame Navali. Like she puts on a new robe and gets like a new hat, and she's like, okay, I'll come to your hideout now, and I'll only give you awesome endgame stuff. And like, I don't know, something like that could be cool.
I don't know. I think that's actually a balancing point of prophecy, that you have to sometimes, if you want to like farm prophecies efficiently for the good ones, you have to actually spend extra coins to remove the ones that are not worth doing. Yeah. I think that is actually a balancing point of the game. Like if you don't want that 560s Cragfall faded prophecy, you don't want to go back and kill Nice again with the Craghead. No, you don't want to do that. So that you better spend like 6 or 8 coins and spend those coins. Then you have to get coins out of the system. If every one coin would become one good prophecy or like one endgame viable prophecy, some of the endgame ones are dangerous, like Map Full of Devourers, anyone, or I don't know, Inferno Tempest. That one pretty scary as well. Yeah. But there have to be some prophecies you want to remove to balance the whole raid, I think.
Yeah.
I do feel though that like the prophecies that are more successful are the ones that just happen and that aren't like linked to particular zones. So like some area sometime in the future will have a Tempest. You know, some area sometime in the future will have demons. Like I like those prophecies. Those prophecies are great. They're not necessarily very profitable, but they're cool, right? The prophecies I don't like are the ones that are very specific zone-wise, because they feel inappropriate from like a kind of flow perspective of playing the game. What I like is like I'm just like I accept a bunch of prophecies and then weird stuff starts to happen, you know, that I don't necessarily expect. I think that's like
on the flip side, I really like I really like the ones that encourage like game knowledge and a bit of kind of like thinking and hunting down. Like I really like the, figuring out, what is this base mob? What does the text in this, what is this hinting at? Where would I find one of those? And, exploring and trying to find a good farming location to find those guys to get that unique to drop. So I actually really like those. And I think that eventually those wear on you and they become less interesting. And at that point you start sealing them. And as YoJi said, I think that's a point of balance. But for a person doing those prophecies for the first time, I think it's a really awesome addition, and I think those should be left in for for the new people getting in and doing some prophecies and having them hunt different zones and stuff like that. And sometimes it's nice to take a bit of a break from maps as well to go hunt down like a free unique. So I don't know, I kind of like it.
I mean, Angry spent all his time in Uberlap. He has a lot of break from maps, so maybe he doesn't need it as much as we do. Maybe that could be the case.
I think I've mapped less than all of you guys, actually. I think I've been on maps less than all of you.
I do agree with what YoJi said about the coin sync. I do think she should be in the hideout, just because it's a hassle to go back and forth. But I do, it maybe not Act 1 Merciless, maybe Act 3 and 4 Merciless quest rewards once she's in your hideout. But having the ability to remove it, I think, is a great idea, YoJi. With all that said, Prophecy going in the core of the game, why do you want it in the core of the game? It's the uniques. Let's go to the next segment, the unique section. If you guys haven't seen the uniques yet, we got a bunch of them in store for you. Let's kick things off with 3 uniques I got here on screen. And we're going to talk Cosprey's Will, because this is my personal favorite. Come at me, I don't care. It was also the first one I uploaded, I'll be honest. Cosprey's Will is
and it's OP.
It's OP. It was created by Exile Lost Arts, and there's a whole story behind it. You can find it on the forum thread, and I'm sure we could get someone in chat to link it for us. That'd be great. And then we'll even put it in the YouTube video description as well, the whole thought process behind this unique. But this man figured out hexproof. And one of the most frustrating things in the game was curse immunity. Curse immunity was something that most people were so frustrated with in map mods, as well as rare monsters and even blue packs. And this chess piece is the first thing in the game to actually get rid of that. They came out with a new thing called Hexproof, which only applies to rare monsters and below and maps, but however, unique monsters, if they are curse immune, they are curse immune. So that is the difference now. It also is a 7-link, gives poison on hit, +1 curse with a very high chaos resistance roll, as well as up to like 1500 evasion. This chest is amazing. AngryAA, I know you're looking at it like, how? Can you explain how?
I mean, okay, on one end, like, there's a part of me, like, the min-maxing, mechanical crunching Path of Exile player looks at this and goes, ah? Like, there's just, like, a couple of too many stuff it does, it just kind of breaks my mind. At the same time, this is an RPG, right? An action RPG. And I think it's kind of cool that there are some items in the game where we look at that item and go, holy shit, that thing's awesome, man. I could only dream of owning this item. Kind of like chevrons was for a very long time, or combs. You just look at this item and you're like, holy crap, I want this thing. It's amazing. And that's what Cosprey's Will is, right? It's unbelievable. And that's great.
Well, that was easy. Shit. YoJi, what are your thoughts on this item?
It takes away one of the most dangerous things for one of the most OP builds in the game. That's like if you're playing a support, for example, the very popular Ice Shot support that curses everything with Quill and Ice Shot. Now you can curse immune mobs. That's the only thing as a support player that you're ever worried about. Oh, there's a curse immune blue pack. Oh, it has powerful crits. That could actually kill us. Everything else doesn't move and does no damage even if it would move. So yeah, it kind of removes all of that. And it gives you an extra curse on a chess piece, which wasn't available at all before, so you basically can get an extra curse that you normally wouldn't be able to get. And it's also good for everyone doing poison, because it's insane for that. And as poison builds normally don't run auras, because they don't benefit from auras other than defensive ones. So they usually end up running a lot of blasphemies, like Enfeeble or Vulnerability. And yeah, apparently that's exactly what this chess piece does, on top of being an awesome chess for supports. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's ridiculous. Pohx, what are your thoughts of this? Because I know you love poison meta, and I know you love things that are overpowered.
So when this first came out, I was like kind of PJ Salt, because I was just like, there's no downside to this chess piece. Like there's just no downside. And I'm used to usually seeing things to the downside. But I guess you could say I am happy to see something that is evasion based that can contest coil for a lot of builds, because you get the free extra curse. And that free extra curse could be the difference between you running Enfeeble and Enfeeble Temp, which is big for a lot of builds. Because when I look at an extra curse, it can be an offensive curse, it can be a defensive curse. So that's something I really do like. I feel like whenever I play an evasion character that's melee or somewhat melee or has the ability to run a curse, it's typically always enfeeble if I can, because I need to make up for the lack of mitigation that I don't have. And I feel that by getting a free additional curse, it allows me to incorporate what I like to every evasion character, basically. So I really do like the design, and it's cool. It's cool to see like that super rare, piece of gear on an evasion piece now, not on an ES base.
I mean, I think it's kind of like a slight aspect of design that GGG have been doing in this league, which is that they're taking like the smaller percentage of players who maybe play a lot, right, and are relatively quote-unquote hardcore, and they're giving them a carrot, right, something to strive for. That's what Uber Labyrinth is. Like, Uber Labyrinth isn't designed for everybody to complete, but it's something to strive for, right, something to work towards. And like, there's some super powerful items that you can strive and work towards. And like, I actually think that's really good for the game. Like, even if you never get this item, like I want to Cosby's Will. I want to make a build around it. But like, I don't have 15x to buy it or 5x to buy it or whatever, how much it costs, right?
I have a 6-socket one, and it can't sell for 5 exalteds. It's dirt cheap because it's not hyped yet. And if you play an occultist with this, you will break the game. Yep. 5 exalt, 6-socketed. Will not sell. If you guys read the flavor text, Lost Arts put this in here. Curse their vile counsel. They cast me aside as if I'm a bastard child if they only knew the power I possess. In reference to his unique and the haters on his unique. All the haters out there is like, screw the hate, man. This thing's OP. When you figure out it's OP, it's the next lightning coil. And I agree with him.
You can't even hate. Like, look what it says. Enemies can have one additional curse.
AngryAA, when you played this game, what was the most meta OP chess piece? Cloak of Defiance. Everyone wanted Cloak of Defiance. This is the next Cloak of Defiance, in my opinion. Play it now before it gets slashed into pieces.
I think it's not as universal because it has very specific uses, but I think it's for those builds that can use it. It is.
Iron Reflexes can use it. The Juggernaut can use it. He double dips from this. Who doesn't want +1 curse on the tankiest character in the game? I mean, you could think about it. The endless possibilities with this chess piece. Occultist, 4 curses for very little work. You don't have to use the damn boots. You don't have to use a ring. You don't have to get a neck. It is overpowered. All right.
I do like the drawback. It has a pretty huge drawback though, which is what I like. It's pure green. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good, like really clever, subtle drawback. I always like when it's just like, oh, the base isn't that good. Oh, wait, it's actually not that good on the base. Damn it. I like those drawbacks that are a little bit more subtle and a little bit more tricky, and you realize that once you try to color it for blue for your curses.
What other chest out there?
Decks.
What other chess piece out there are like, good luck coloring that? Shavs. And when people started coloring Shavs, what did you see go up in price? Shavs. I'm telling you, it's the next meta chest. Just give it some time. It'll be Lightning Coil. It'll be Cloak of Defiance all over again. So let's stop talking about this. Let's talk about something completely overpowered that ZiggyD and Yoji have some experience with. Ziggy, you can kick this one off. Yoji, you chime in. The rest of us will be plebs and listen. Reach of the Council. Kick it off, Ziggy.
Reach of the Council, eh? The new chase unique from the Pale Council fight. So all the stuff from the Pale Council I thought was kind of decent, but this is the chase money one. I mean, I bought this for a bit under 2 exalts because people weren't really kind of hyped about it yet, and now I think they're like quite a bit more than that now. I think they went up a few more exalts. So this, I mean, it's solid fizz damage with 4 additional arrows. Now, this is going to work great with anything that you're already doing GMP with, right? You get more arrows, you can replace the GMP, gain a bit more damage, stuff like that. But I think the real magic of this is the ability to use things that just didn't work with GMP before because the damage loss just didn't make much sense. So, I mean, if you want to do like a split PS build and have enough arrows to be able to actually clear properly, you can do that. Or like what I'm doing, where I'm taking Puncture, a skill that I always wanted to play, but was never really worth it with the double dipping damage loss of GMP. So I'm able to play that with, enough arrows to actually clear with it and deal single target damage to all the enemies that I shoot in AoE. So it's pretty fun, man, and it's wicked strong. What can I say? It's a sick chase item. It's super fun. More projectiles equals more fun. Ever since we had that broken Spire jewel in beta when
You could stack
them. Yeah.
Oh,
And I was
I
doing like
remember
full
that.
screen Arctic Breath with totems.
That's
I was
right.
like, I knew right that moment. I was like, this is the key to action RPG game design. More projectiles equals more fun. So what can I say? This item is 4 times the fun, 5 times the fun.
That's basically what I did 2 days ago. I just took that bow once I bought it. And hardcore was a bit more expensive because, of course, pale council is a bit more like sketchy in hardcore. You don't know what the boss does yet. But yeah, once I got the bow, I was like, okay, LMP, GMP, use all the bow skills. So split arrow, half screen covered in arrows. That looks pretty cool. Tornado shot, 11 arrows. That each shoot how many arrows? I used that in Dryad Lake a little bit. I like you shoot in a random direction, and like in every direction, like 2 screens away or whatever, everything dies. You're like,
it's actually
so cool.
good.
And then
You can use GMP tornado shot with this. It's actually good. Like it's actually that's actually viable. Like 'cause tornado shot benefits from more projectiles.
That was pretty hilarious. Pretty hilarious was also using Barrage, because Barrage benefits also from the projectiles, which I'm actually now using over Blast Drain as single target, and it's actually stronger. It actually does clear single targets like dead. People are always surprised when I stream and I walk up to a boss, pop my flasks, zip, random map loss, dead. It just instantly dies. I think I knocked away so fast because of King of the Hill, and I recharge flasks. I think I said that before, but yeah, it's so funny.
To piggyback on your barrage, does that mean cast on crit with this bow would be pretty nuts, because it is a base of 6 crit, and cast on crit barrage used to be meta as hell with wands, but now you would have 4 plus GMP plus the single. You have 9 freaking projectiles flying out with cast on crit.
You could probably do that, yeah. I think the Quill Rain might still be a slightly more silly if you do it as an assassin because of the high attack speed that Barrage gets. But there's also the what's called Volifier, the jewel, that has even more projectiles. I think you can get to like really silly amounts of projectiles with that, and probably make some fun builds with that as well. I think that's pretty nice. Yeah, overall I think it's pretty good. But yeah, the real power in that bow is actually when you use the meta skills, of course. That's where the power is. I'm currently using Ice Shot, which isn't even Lightning Arrow. And once I equipped that, before I was using a 270-ish DPS bow that I like somehow got early in the league, and that has like 7.75 on almost 8% crit. That was doing pretty well. I was doing alright, but I was kind of like struggling a little bit, and I saved the money up for that bow, equipped it, put the GMP out, put in another gem, looked at my DPS, more than double. And since then I'm struggling to not one-shot myself to reflect, and that's all this character does. Like instantly one-shot everything. It's absurd.
So Ziggy and Yoji, in terms of economics, is this the bow? Like no more Wind Ripper, Lion Eyes, all the bows we've seen, the hierarchy of bows throughout the age of bows. Is this the tip top now? Is this the
Wind Ripper's like 5 chaos, so
Voltaxic's 2 chaos.
So, and I mean, Voltaxic's still really good. Let me throw that out there as a side note. Voltaxic Lightning Arrow is still really good, and with how cheap Voltaxic is because of the anti-hype surrounding it, definitely consider playing Voltaxic LA if you actually want like a really strong, safe build. So it's still really freaking good.
Add to that, grab a 3 chaos drill neck while you're at it. Just saying.
Pretty much. Doing cheap, solid bows. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Here's my question to you, Ziggy and Yoji, since you played at this bow. Chris Wilson comes up to you and he goes, in one hand I have a mirror-worthy Harbinger bow, and in the other hand I have the Reach of the Council. Which hand would you pick?
No, I'd pick the mirror-worthy Harbinger bow, and then I'd use that for a while, save up and buy Reach of the Council.
Reach of the Council is where the silly fun is, but the Harbinger is still better. Like you save the less multiplier from GMP, which is like 35% more damage basically. That ups the bow to about like 450 DPS if you just multiply that onto the base of the bow, which is pretty good. It doesn't have high crit chance though. It's 6% crit is not high for a bow. Bows you usually aim towards like 7.5, 8.5, 9 if you're really, really crazy.
I mean, there's probably like 1 to 2 Harbingers better than this on the servers now, right? So, eventually, in standard, you might be better off with a Harbinger, but Reach of the Council for now is certainly a lot better than those. What's available?
So temporary leaks.
This bow, obviously, these guys just want to shut up about it. That's how good it is. Like, let's be real. However, somebody over there to the left, sitting in the purple room, cue it.
Yeah.
He's not using that damn thing. He's using something else. He's using the Death's Opus.
I play the budget. I play the budget builds. I'm here to support all the people that can only have a budget of about 5 chaos and want to get to red maps. So I use Death's Opus instead of Reach of the Council, and I'm actually playing Puncture as well. I'm using GMP with the 2 additional arrows, so it's a pretty decent spread as well. And I've got about 500% crit multiplier, like 480, 500 with Death's Opus, and everything just dies. Like I don't even need anything. Like I was running like 30% fizz damage reduction maps with Enfeeble and just dead. I also only have 35% crit rate, but thanks to Ambush plus Diamond Flash, that doesn't really matter. So it works out really well. And then I have a 4-link Frenzy as my single target, which applies bleed and puncture as well through poison plus bleed, and that's worked out fine as well. So Death's Opus, man, all the way.
So
yeah, it's totally endgame map viable. Yeah, I used it before leveling with Reach of the Council, and it's freaking awesome. It's so good.
Pohx, to ask about your build, you said 35% crit rate with a Diamond Flask and Ambush. To the people at home that don't know what those are, what is that?
See, I don't do the math. So basically, Ambush basically rolls your crit rate twice, and the Diamond Flask basically Well, Ambush is only the first hit, but if you're a crit-based character and you're not killing mobs in one hit with a crit, you're doing something wrong. So you got Ambush, and then the Diamond Flask again rolls it twice, and then if you have somewhat of decent clear, a Diamond Flask isn't too hard to keep up for 100% uptime. So it's near crit cap.
And also they just buffed the Assassin. The Assassin now gives 100% more poison damage, maim, bleed on hit, all sorts of broken stats. But don't worry, you could just put on a Void Heart. TY.
Which, Ziggy, do you notice that as well? Do you notice the temp chains plus? Are you playing as an assassin?
Yeah.
Do you notice how good maim is when you slow targets with maim?
I wish there was like a visual effect for it though. There's no
it's
visual
hard to
effect
see.
for it.
Because I have,
so I can't tell when it's up half time because stuff's dying too quick at the moment with puncture, so I can't really.
Yeah, no, it's hard.
Problems.
It is. It's hard because I have temp chains on my what gloves am I using? I forgot. What are the ones that give poison on hit when you have
Snakebite?
Snakebite. I've got Snakebite corrupted the temporal chains on hit, so I've got temporal chains plus maim on everything, and nothing even moves. Like it's just like it's pretty crazy.
Let's segue this. So Pohx, would you consider using the new Void Heart Iron Ring, because that does 2 things that you needed to do. Well, actually, no, it's melee.
It's not melee. I was gonna say I can't. I can take off both my rings. I'll still one-shot everything. It's okay. I mean, it's all good. I love the Void Heart. I actually didn't know about it until recently, like earlier today. Melee attacks have a 100% chance to cause bleeding, and melee attacks poison on hit. I think that is such an awesome way to integrate, I guess, poison to melee characters because it's so versatile between so many different things. And you are still sacrificing a little bit, not too much. You know, it doesn't have a good life roll, it doesn't have any resist, but it's okay, you're melee. It's all good, man. You got that covered.
To clarify everyone at home, this was the old Blackheart Iron Ring you'd find 50 of farming Merciless Dominus and be pissed off. You'd be like, well, it's an alchemy, whatever. But now it's like, hey, that's 5 chaos. Comb's Sign is now Comb's Way. Death's Opus, or Death's Opiope, it was Death's Heart. They took back a bunch of old unique items, and they just made these faded versions of them. So now you don't have this vendor trash anymore. You can convert it into this using Prophecy. And if Prophecy goes, I'm pretty sure the community's going to be pissed. Because these items are awesome. They are really awesome. AngryAA, what are your thoughts on Void Heart? You said you use it for your Earthquaker, or you were considering it?
Yeah, I use it on my Earthquaker, and it's incredible. What can I say? I almost feel like Void Heart is so strong that every single melee build ever will use it. And not only that it kind of like brings melee closer to ranged in many ways. And on Earthquake, oh my god, because Earthquake does like a massive amount of upfront damage, and the Aftershock is a huge amount of damage. With Void Heart on, you just one-shot everything. You know, like I just walk up to like fat rare monsters and just like one hit with the Earthquake, massive poison dot, massive bleed dot, dead, right? And just incredible amount of damage, and it's just a really, really, really good ring. It's actually just insane. Like I haven't even like thought about like pushing the min-maxing further, like because you could go assassin, right? Like melee assassin with 100% more poison damage. I mean, I can't even imagine like how crazy that would be. But just for any melee character, and Earthquake especially, it's very, very, very strong. And an interesting thing, by the way, about this is that it's actually quite hard. It's probably the hardest item in Prophecy to upgrade. Like every single item that can be upgraded in Prophecy, you need to do a special thing, like generally kill a bad guy, right? But for this, you got to kill Behemoth, which is a Beyond Demon, which means you need to either roll beyond on maps or you need to find them randomly with a bloodline pack. So it's actually quite hard to do. So what you'll find on like if you're trying to like buy this ring, is that if you buy the prophecy, it's like sometimes literally half the price of the actual ring. So like if you what I did, I was like farming Dried Lake and I accidentally summoned Be'meth. I hopped out of the Dried Lake, bought the prophecy, bought the ring, and then upgraded, and I saved myself 20 chaos. You know, like instead of the ring costing 1x, the prophecy cost like 20 chaos. So it was incredible. Like, and I was like, cool. And now I got a Void Heart. Now I'm OP.
So the going rate of these, is around 2 Exalted Orbs. The prophecy itself is what, 30 chaos, 20 chaos, and the Black Heart Iron Ring is going for how much? 5 chaos. It's insane. That like Blackheart was vendor trash. You would vendor it. Now it's 5 chaos.
I've still been vendoring.
It's a beautiful story, man.
Rip.
I'm gonna save him. Everyone out there,
I might have vended 1 or 2 as well, yeah. But there's actually a prophecy that allows you to summon a Beyond boss in a map. I've been kind of like stalked by those recently. I got the challenge done as well with the Beyond bosses. I get them all the time. Like every other prophecy I get is like a Beyond pack will appear in your map. Like, oh my god, again. Then I'm like, okay, I don't want to run tier 11, tier 12. No, that's too scary. Let's do like a tier 8 to get the Beyond. No, it's not proccing. Maybe I should just seal them and sell them to the Void Heart farming people. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, that's a good way, I think, to get the Beyond bosses done.
I'm curious to know, is Void Heart the highest levels in Spike from the Prophecy upgrade? Because it goes from level 1 requirement to 48.
Must be, yeah. For sure.
Like that's a pretty significant like jump.
I mean, you can't Be'meth into.
Oh no, you can't.
Endgame anyway. So
to be fair, the league is so fresh. We still don't know all the fadeds. I'm sure there's gonna be some new fadeds still dropping in 2 weeks. We're gonna be like, oh my god, I can't believe there's a faded for Wind Ripper. You know, not saying there is one, but could you imagine? Like we still haven't seen that big boy fade yet. We don't know.
They also said they want to add more in the future as well. They said there will be more prophecies coming, maybe more faded uniques as well. So I'm pretty hyped for that. So far, what we got now is already pretty good. I'm only can imagine what there's to come.
And that's what's so good about it. It's so easy for them to expand it. Like it makes such a great addition to the game because it's so modular. Like so easy for them to expand and balance and adjust it. It's so good.
I mean, Chris hinted at Faded Veil of the Night. What is it gonna be like? Kill Uber Zeri with Veil of the Night on? Like, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
The enchant will be you have no fizz resist.
I mean,
you have 0 armor.
That would be true to Veil of the Night's flavor text. Like,
you have 0 armor.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Minus global defenses.
Yes.
I feel like this entire upgrade system is built to give Veil of the Night a reason. So I just needed to have a reason. I needed to I needed to be upgraded to like the best item in the game. And then I'll feel validated for its existence.
It's already got a reason, and it's fulfilling it quite nicely.
Yeah,
its reason is literally to troll and to challenge people.
To challenge people.
Doing quite well.
Yeah. If they make a faded one, we shouldn't do another Veil of the Night challenge, by the way. If they make a faded one, we go on that quest. They should do that challenge.
There's another challenge I want to propose to you guys. I talked about it with Pohx. The No Ascendancy Challenge.
Oh.
Go through the game not being able to
ascend. That's what I said. I was like, if you're gonna do this,
yeah.
I'm like, if you're gonna do this, you gotta wait. We're still on the ascendancy high. Wait like 6 months or something. Like when.
Yeah, maybe in like 6 months.
When something else comes out.
No ascending. Period.
Not using the fun stuff. What?
That is the fun stuff. Look, guys, I'm a pleb ass witch, and I'm freaking. Urbulab.
We did fine without ascendancies before. Like we were pretty strong pre-ascendancy, right, so I think we'll be okay.
One day you guys will be like, it's time for the challenge.
Maybe.
It might just be a bit early though.
Not now. In the future. But we could do the Veil of the Night challenge together. Let's talk Combs Way. Let's get back on track here. So Combs Way, I actually had use with in AngryAA here. I played Righteous Fire with a bow. I went Chieftain, and I got the Endurance Charge regen node, and then I got the Endurance Charge regen node in the tree, and I put on a Combs Way, and suddenly I'm running around with Righteous Fire and a pure fire damage Rain of Arrows character, and I was like, this is stupid. Why am I running Righteous Fire with a bow? This shouldn't do damage, but it did because I'm the Chieftain, and you stack Strength for Iron Grip, which is all converted to Fire from Avatar Fire, and the new Signal Fire Quiver, which gives you extra damage as Fire. Chieftain gives extra damage as Fire. There's added Fire, and then there's Herald of Ash. Then I mentioned there's Fire. So I made a build where all you have to do is think red. Anything that red gives you, you wear. Fire penetration. Okay, Chieftain gives that. Fire pen in the tree, Lava Lash. You use the Fire pen gem. Use Wed, that's red. Stack Strength, that's red, because it gives HP, and it gives you damage for Iron Grip. Then after that, you get regen, because that's red. Oh, and then you get armor because you're a freaking chieftain. So anything red, I did. And I was able to run Righteous Fire with a bow. It was stupid as hell. Stupid. And then, of course, I killed myself to Elemental Reflect, which we won't talk about. That's the first time I've ever done that much damage on a character.
My damage was so good.
It was
My
insane.
damage just kept going up and up and up.
I did so much red that I bled red and died. But
Story.
running Righteous Fire with a bow was pretty amazing. It was like... No one would ever be able to, like, you don't need Rise of the Phoenix. You don't need the stupid Leo mod. You don't have to play, I need +1 max fires everywhere. I was wearing a Purity of Fire level 15, running Righteous Fire. Level 15 is awesome. The amount of theory crafting this game allows you to do with Ascendancy is pretty amazing. AngryAA, what are your experiences with Combs Way?
Yeah, so, you know, my Earthquake was Juggernaut running Labyrinth. I was using 2 rings. Coincidentally, the Void Heart, you know, the crazy Poison Bleed, and then the other ring is Combs Way, which, you know, and the big deal is the increased regeneration per endurance charge. And basically, it's Juggernaut's best friend, right? Like, I put on a Combs Way, and I'm like, traps don't deal damage to me anymore. I almost feel like I don't need life flasks anymore because my regen is starting to out-regen my life flasks. And it's really, really, really powerful with any build that stacks a lot of endurance charges. It's really strong. It's really cool. And what can I say? I like ignoring traps. So yeah, it's fantastic. And I don't know. Like I wonder if it's overpowered, but not every build stacks endurance charges. And yeah, I don't know. It's really cool. Cool item. I'm really enjoying it.
All right.
Maybe too much.
Let's segue this because I was talking about the red. The Signal Fire Arrow Quiver. This is the upgrade to the Black Gleam. The Black Gleam Quiver for a while was one of those vendor things like, cool, I can convert it to fire, but I'd rather not. Now you're like, wow, I can convert it to fire because that's a support gem. You get 35 extra damage as fire based off of your physical, as well as some conversion and a bunch of fire damage. Ziggy, what is your take on this quiver now? You're a bow guy. What do you think when you see this?
Burning Arrow Elementalist and that was already looking pretty good. And I mean, that's just a big damage increase to it. So I mean, what can I say? It's a pretty good. It's pretty hard to compete with Drill Neck, especially because it's so cheap, and that works so well with those setups. So it has tough competition in basically the same slot for the same purpose, but it's still a viable alternative. And if this sticks around, maybe, and if Drill Neck's not so cheap in the future, then it could be a better option. But they're pretty comparable for that style of setup. Like, they both achieve pretty similar results damage-wise, so... What can I say? I don't know. I guess I'm not that hyped about it, because it does kind of the same thing in the same build as Drill Neck, I guess.
What are your thoughts on Angry? Or go ahead, Pohx.
I was going to say my excitement behind this is that they're taking another look at conversion uniques and adding some new, like some extra twist to conversion uniques, because I feel... Things that convert damage, there's 2 types of people that play PoE. There's people that understand how it works, and there's people that just don't ever touch it. They're just like, I don't know how that works. I see Avatar Fire up there. It's scary. I don't understand how to use it. Goodbye, conversion. So I really do like seeing them add a little bit of stuff to conversion uniques. I think it's really cool. And definitely 35% of physical damage as extra fire is pretty good. Like, I mean, that's a big chunk of damage as well. So I like it.
Pohx is the guy.
It's niche.
You're the guy running around with a fucking moonbender. Excuse my language. You're running around with a moonbender on a Inquisitor in a red map because the Inquisitor just needs elemental damage.
No, it's because it gives lightning warp.
It gives lightning warp. Good call.
It gives level 1 lightning warp.
But then we'll start this discussion right here. Let's go to the next unique then for lightning warp, boys. Let's talk about ItsYoji and Ziggy here. Apparently, Yoji doesn't want to admit it, but his name is Japanese. He likes this chess piece.
Yeah, the Weeaboo armor.
To bring up.
The Weeaboo armor is really, really cool. Yeah, I love that thing. I definitely want to use them. I'm currently in the process of linking one to just start running the overlap with it, and I love the design of that. I love I love everything about that thing. And I'm not a Weeb, but it's the Weeb armor. It's pretty good. What it does, it basically gives you Fortify, kind of, until you get hit. It gives you 20% less damage taken until you get hit. And then for 4 seconds it cuts off because it's only if you've not been hit recently. And then it gives you 50% increased evasion during that time after you've been hit. So basically what it does, it fixes the problem that evasion has, that you will get hit at some point, and that hit will hurt. That's what everyone always tells everyone who plays evasion. And that armor basically tackles that because the next time you will get hit, you won't get hit as hard. And after that, well, you've just been hit, and because of how evasion works and the whole entropy system works, you're not very likely to get hit again and again after that one. So you have like a little bit of breathing room, and then, yeah, basically whenever you get hit, you take less damage. That's how it works. It's not as reliable as, like, for example, a lightning coil, which always reduces fizz damage every time. But yeah, it's still really, really strong. It's way more cheap. I paid like 15 chaos for mine. I think it's a bit more expensive now, and mine are almost perfect rolls as well. And on the other hand, it reduces elemental damage, which we have talked about earlier, is actually pretty scary now. So those sparkers, like at least the first one that hits you does less damage. That's pretty good, right? And if you have spell dodge a little bit, or maybe even a little bit more because it's maybe a raider like Zeno wants to be, you get a lot of dodge and spell dodge these days, or even spell block if you want to get that. That works with it too. Spell block is also becoming kind of meta. I think that it's pretty nice for that. What's your thoughts, Ziggy?
Yeah.
I had a look at pricing yesterday on this, and this was 10C yesterday, and Lightning Coil was 3 exalts, and I'm like, there's no way it is that much worse than Lightning Coil. This is definitely very competitive with Lightning Coil in evasion dodge builds. I mean, you have the evasion, as you said, with the entropy system, you have the dodge, you have the spell dodge, and then you have custom damage taken on Mortal Coil to prevent, like, rapid hits to buy you time for that effect to kick back in again. It's really solid, yeah. I mean, for physical, like you said, it's not quite as reliable, but it impacts all that spell stuff. Like, it reduces a lot of the nasty spell damage that's in the game now. So it's really freaking solid. I think it's a really solid chest and definitely underrated right now.
In terms of the meme of the chest, usually evasion gear is associated with green and dexterity and cold. You have Fury's Ire, which gives you cold damage and chill type stuff. You got your Queen of the Force, which has like next to no fire res, but a ton of evasion and cold res. And then you see this chest, it's evasion chest, and it's like some dude was playing it, like the lore behind the chest is, look, it's got fire resistance, and it's got this really hardened clay over this evasive piece of gear. But that clay can only receive one hit every 4 seconds before it remolds itself. It's a pretty interesting idea where they took the meme of evasion and added the armor type effect to it, the red effect to it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What I love about the Weebu armor is that, like, it basically takes the most glaring weakness of evasion and makes it strong, shows up the weakness, and in a way that's not boring like Lightning Coil. Like Lightning Coil is, you are unkillable, stoppable machine, and this is like it's artful. It feels like an evasion chest armor, but it works. Like, it actually works. Like the fact that it gives you extra evasion. It every now and then that one hit that does get through is massively reduced. It's just perfect for evasion. I love the design. I love the mechanics.
And it doesn't put that pressure on you rest of your gear like Lightning Coil does with the -60 lightning res. Like, when you put a Lightning Coil on, all your rest of your gear becomes more expensive. That's not the case with this. So overall, it's a lot more budget because of that as well.
They might as well say you have Fortify once every 4 seconds after receiving damage. You have Fortify once.
It's basically is that, yeah. But it stacks with Fortify, so that's pretty nice if you're a champion.
Oh yes, and it's additive with Fortify too. It's not a multiplier. So
40% less damage, and then 20% after that at evasion. Just saying,
so that's
putting that out there.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about it. Like Kitsugi makes you want to stack more evasion so that you can not get hit in that 4 seconds. So it's like, that's why it's such a cool chess piece, because it encourages the evasion gameplay style.
Yes, it promotes playing an evasion build when you're playing an evasion build instead of just being like, well, I'm using Lightning Coil, I might as well not scale evasion at this point.
I'll just get dodge.
I'll just get dodge and not worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you're actually playing an evasion build. It's
so cool.
It's so good. Lightning Coil literally killed evasion builds because you weren't playing an evasion build at that point anymore. You're just playing a dodge Lightning Coil build.
Yep.
The thing I like the most about this is they actually did it right. I feel that Hiri's Ire is still in an odd spot for so many builds because this actually gives you life. Where Hiri's Ire, which is the evasion chest, which I love trying to use because it gives 10% dodge, 10% spell dodge, 2,000 evasion, no life. So it's like, it's not helping me. It's just boosting my evasion, but I'm not getting anything from it. Whereas I could use a Belly of the Beast, get no evasion, but get 500, 600 more effective life. So it's like it's kind of, there's always a downside of that. But this one doesn't have that. So I do like that about that it does give you its own form of mitigation, and it gives you a good chunk of life.
Before we go into the next one for AngryAA here, Why are you calling it the weeaboo chest? What? Like, I don't get that, Yoji. Why is it called the weeaboo chest? For
Because
people...
it's called kintsugi, and kintsugi is like the old Japanese art of basically mending cracks in pottery. That's what it is. I looked
but
that up.
highlighting the cracks as well.
But
That's
highlighting
like
the
a
cracks.
form of art.
If you look
As
at
you can see on the armor.
Yeah, if you look at the 2D art of the armors, you can see there. It's like it has these little golden lines because they use gold, silver, and some other metal powders to make the paste to amend the cracks. And you know what the saddest part about that armor is? Doesn't have 3D art yet, and the base looks ugly. So better get your
3D art would be
make
so
a 3D
good
art.
too.
Make a 3D art. When you actually get hit, it's like you're exposed.
Oh, it
And
should
when
like
you
start
don't get hit-
glowing. That would be
Yeah,
that would be sick.
that'd be
If
really
If this gets
interesting.
3D art before Lightning Coil, though, I'm gonna crack up.
So
That'd
with
be
that
fun.
said, I actually knew the whole story of that. I just wanted to say, if you're a weeb out there, you got your armor, enjoy it. Fuck it, who cares? Let's have a good stream, you know. So AngryAA, kick off your opinion of this silver flask, the Chiari's Determination.
Yeah, I think this flask is pretty incredible, particularly with Pathfinder. I'm sure Yoji could probably back me up on this one, but it's just like you're immune to annoying stuff, right? Like it's just like it's so much punch in one flask, and yeah, like it's got the downside of like the low duration and stuff. But honestly, if you're a CI character and you have one, actually my CI character is now running 2 of these. It's just it just removes all your weaknesses with one click of a button. And honestly, that is what's incredible about it. Any CI character that maybe doesn't have stun immunity yet, like maybe they're not using Eye of Chayula, maybe they're using Astramantis or something like that, or they haven't got Unwavering Stance in the tree, it's on-demand stun immunity in a flask, which has never really been seen before. It's incredible. And what it does also is it relieves pressure on status removal on all your other flask slots. So maybe now you can stack that charge recovery armor granite, right? And then that's what makes it incredible. And I'm almost frightened to see what Pathfinders are going to do with this thing.
Yeah, I saw Carve play that on his Pathfinder CI cast on grid character. That basically makes him unkillable, I would say, or close to unkillable. It's crazy. It removes all downsides of CI. Like it removes freeze, curse, and stun. That's like 3 modes. The 3 flask mods you always have. That means you can use unique flask and a diamond on all the other stuff, and even run a movement speed flask if you want. It just frees up space. That's basically what the flask does. It frees up space from all the other flasks. I heard some people even call it a rare flask because it has 2 of the mods you want, not only one. There's curse removal and freeze removal, but the stun on top is just insane.
The cool thing about this is you guys are both talking Pathfinder. I'm playing a Raider. When I see this, it says you are now the Raider. You pair this with the Dodge Flask, with a Quartz Flask, and the Pathfinder is literally now the Raider. She gets phasing because of Quartz, she's immune to all status ailments, and she has Onslaught. That is literally the Raider in 2 flasks, and the Pathfinder is all about the flasks. So Pathfinder is now Raider. But 2.5 seconds, you better get some duration. And Pathfinder gets that.
Yes, you get that. You get a lot of duration. To get them easily, it's like 10 seconds, and they recharge in 1, so that's pretty good.
It allows the Pathfinder to be her sister, the Raider, and I think it's really cool design. They make all these uniques in the game that are designed for specific classes, and if you want to use them for outside that specific class, good luck. You have to be very creative. Like AngryAA is talking about how he uses it as a Juggernaut, right?
No, I think he's using it as a witch.
As a witch.
Yeah, I've got a secondary character because, by the way, every second day it seems the Uber Labyrinth layout is bugged, and like 20% of the Uber Labyrinth layouts don't work. Like you press a lever and the door doesn't open, and it ruins your run and destroys your key. So I'm not running Uber Labyrinth on the days where it's bugged. It kind of sucks. I hope they fix it soon. But so I've been rolling up another character, and it's a CI Whispering Ice, which is really fun, by the way. But basically, I'm like, I have all these problems. I'm worrying about stun and freeze and stuff. Like I don't have Oxium. I don't have stun immunity. Oh look, everything's okay. No problems.
Last league, I played a Raider as Whispering Ice CI, and I converted the first Dex nodes into Int using that Jewel. And I was like, hey, I have no problems. And this is literally that flask, the same exact way. But now you can be a witch. Now you can be another class. You
could also be a Pathfinder, though. That would be so sick.
You're only saying because you play Pathfinder. I'm only saying Raider because I love the Raider. And Angry is only saying Witch because he's playing a Witch. I think what we're trying to say is we can actually have a healthy debate about the game without choosing superlatives for once.
Yeah,
the game is at this state where you can have a healthy debate and nobody is wrong. Thank you.
You can choose multiple build classes and builds for like the same stuff. That's pretty cool. You have multiple choices now.
Instead of picking the duelist because he has a red shirt on, Hellman, you can actually pick the duelist because he offers you something that you desire immediately. And that's exactly what we want in game design. So cheers. Let's go back to the normal podcast scene here. And let's see. We've talked
Flash doesn't give enough deeps.
Flash doesn't give enough deeps. Oh my!
No.
See, Pohx doesn't care about the defenses. He just goes
Doesn't
assassin
give
and
the deeps,
inquisitor.
Not enough deeps. Need that time, Flash. Need that taste of fate.
You know, I always had this talk with Pohx. It was like, man, I'm so tanky. He's like, everything dies in one hit on my character. I'm like, but I'm so tanky. He's like, I don't know if these mobs hurt because they die instantly. And I'm just like, the best defense is a good offense. I'm not gonna fight. You know, it's like that's what the game has become now. No matter what you play, if you play it correctly, you will feel rewarded. So let's go to the Q&A. Ziggy, you got any for us?
No. How about you talk about Bloodlines on Zana hype, but you were talking about the new Bloodlines mod, and
right.
you guys in chat post questions in chat, tag that ZiggyD Live.
So for everyone out there that's not AngryAA farming Uber Labyrinth without red maps, if you want to just farm lab, go for it. But if you need to actually build a map pool, the first thing I did was I farmed Docks while leveling up, and Docks now drops a tier 5 map divination card, and it's only cost 3 of them. And instead of farming Dried Lake, you know, you want an alternative to Dried Lake, Docks will give you this tier 5 map. I farmed it until I had about 3, and this started off my map pool. I did a couple 68 still, but I went right into 72s when I was able to on my Flame Blaster. And then I saw that, hey, I'm getting my map pool quicker than normal. The Bloodlines mod is only 3 Chaos. Instead of Chaos spamming my maps at this low tier, I'll just roll them until they have Bloodlines or pack size. And then I went over to Zana, and I threw 3 Chaos on there, and suddenly I had 75% more magic monsters. And what gives +1 maps? Blue monsters. So whenever you're mapping now, if you throw on Bloodlines, which is a level 2 or 3 Zana, which is very easy to get, you can get 75% more blue monsters. And if you don't get that map, who cares? Because you just got insane experience. 75% more blue monsters is ridiculous for experience. And I was able to get into red maps, my first character like it was nothing. So the Zana Bloodlines mod is so worth it. And we finally have a Chaos Sync that is not too expensive, that is worth your money, and at the same time, you're getting what you want, blue monsters. What are your thoughts on this, Angry? Because I know you love these kind of things. Economics.
Well, I first want to say, Zeno, is how did you feel about all the bears you were running into?
The bears, I didn't mind because I was flame blasted and I was ranged. I just stood back, off screen them.
I think the Bloodlines thing seems really strong. Like, maybe too strong. But like, hey man, I you know, if anything, I feel more maps makes the game more fun. I've never got to a point in the game where I've been like, wow, you know, I've gotten so many maps, this is not fun. I love map drops. I love getting into high level content and you know, playing that as much as I can. So I'm all for having options to spend your money to make maps harder and to get more returns on both experience and in map returns. So I think it's pretty cool. And I hope it sticks around in the map device for a while.
The day before I moved here with Pohx, literally the day before I moved here, they changed back in Forsaken Masters the price from multi-modding for whatever it was to 2 Exalteds. I believe it was a Divine. And you were talking economic shift. I remember watching your stream and talking about it with you. I was actually packing my last box in my home. And I remember you saying one day there will be a Chaos Sync and the Chaos Orb will be strong, guys. And this is the first time like the Chaos Orb is... you know, like we all hail the Chaos Orb now. It's so worth it. You know, Alex fuses are even 3-1 this go around. The Chaos Orb is so strong for chaos spamming divination card 6 links. It has a use. And it's good that you come back a year later and the Chaos Orb is also made to come back. The one orb you love to beat up, now it's like I can't find a flaw in it. It's really good.
Honestly, Chaos is such a godly currency now for so many different things. Like, I don't even want Exalted Orbs anymore. Like,
Chaos.
I have an Exalted Orb. I just want to crack into the Chaos because I can do things with Chaos. I can, you know, I can roll gear. I can alter my maps. It's really good and liquid for trading. It's a surprisingly stable currency. Chaos is my number 1, honestly, for all things now.
It's the first time ever that the Chaos Orb has been number 1. Like, before the Exalt was so strong because of the Eternal. And finally, the economic shift, you said, it usually takes 6 months for people to catch on to an economic shift. The Eternal Orb went away, and the Exalt was still king. And then all of a sudden, the Chaos Orb was, like, big. And everyone's like, why is Chaos so strong now? It's been crap for so long. Because there's no Eternal Orb, and we actually have Chaos Sinks that are worth our money.
Yeah. And we have the currency stash tab to actually have the space to store all those Chaos Orbs. We don't have to have one tab full of Chaos Rows.
RMT, sell out. No, I'm just kidding. I kid. So, let's get some Q&As going, Z. Good discussion, guys,
All right.
about economy.
Nixon asked us to talk about the experience nerf, and I'll elaborate on that question, is that no one's hit 100 yet. 2 weeks in, no one's hit 100. What do you guys think? Obviously related to the XP nerf and maybe some of the difficulty changes. What are your thoughts, Yoji?
Yeah, no one's hit 100 yet. I'm like slightly surprised, but I think actually it might. I don't know. I've not been that high myself yet. I'm level 90 only, and I think a lot of people also have died. So that might go back to the like not many people hitting 100 might go back to the fact that we talked earlier that mobs actually get buffed, and maybe people were experiencing spike damage from stuff they weren't used to, and also that reflect is now an issue. I think the reflect death is kind of a meme right now. People dying to reflect everywhere basically, because yeah the easy way out, just convert 100% to chaos, is not existing anymore. So people have to adjust to that as well. And that paired on top of that with the experience nerf, I think that might be the reason. Don't know if it's good, don't know if it's bad because I'm not in the ladder race myself. But I have to say it's definitely something people have asked for, that the ladder race shouldn't only take 1 week to be done. And it took longer than 1 week. We are over 1 week now, and no one's hit 100 yet.
I think the real test will be in like a 2-week race when people have something to really push for. Because I don't think people are pushing as hard as they were in like the recent 2-week race, for example. And they're probably taking a bit more easy this league go around.
So something I've noticed is most of the people who are dying in high-end ladder aren't actually dying to the new game difficulty. They're dying to client crashes or bugs such as multi-proj in an Abyss map. They're not dying to the new rebalance. Though the rebalance is hard, some people are dying to it. They just stop playing because they're like, man, come on now. I can understand that. Minus max multi-proj, shotgun, I feel for ETUP. That's a BS death. And Havoc as well, being screen frozen for a couple seconds, you know? Those things are very discouraging. And despite the new monster rebalance, those kind of deaths really piss off people. And I can understand where they're coming from.
I want to throw out there, it's you're all gonna hate me for saying this, but Overwatch. Okay, I'm done.
What are we talking about?
May have had a bit of an impact.
I don't even know what the heck that is. All right, next. So, Pohx, what are your thoughts about the level race? Because you like to race. You take it seriously, kind of, sort of.
I take it seriously for 2-3 days. It's about it. But it's, I mean, there's so many variables, honestly. As Angry said, like one thing to chime in, if new games being released, new content being released, but you don't actually have to do the content because it's optional, because it's prophecy. And then there's the actual of, like, to be completely fair, like, the game has been freezing and crashing quite a bit. Yeah. I mean, even after they fixed it, you know, a standard streamer, I'll say, streams the game for 6 to 8 hours. I don't know, let's say every 5 days, like 5 days a week. I probably crash a good 5 times a day just running maps and something, like, whether it be, and it's usually actually a screen freeze. Like, first it'll screen freeze for like a second or two, and then it's just gone. It's like goodbye. Just Alt F4 your game because you're not coming back. And it's scary, man. You know, if you just jump into a shrine, your game just freezes. Boom. So I could totally understand that. I mean, I actually haven't done my Uber Lab because part of the days I've wanted to run it, I've had like really bad lag issues, and especially in the game of Path of Exile, where literally 1 second is all you need. Not even a second, a fraction of a second, and you could die if you're playing a glass cannon character like mine. And I think there's just a lot of things honestly contributing towards it as well.
I think for me, just it hasn't been that bad. Like, I had some performance issues. I've noticed some things, like town lag, for example, is getting worse. And also I had some freezes, some lag issues, like every now and then. But it actually wasn't all that bad. I mean, I've not that much time because I've been playing so much, not that much time to watch other people play. So I don't know how it's been for everyone else. But maybe because of, for me personally, it's not been that bad. I think I like maybe had line crashes like every 2 days or so. I had one, I would say, like full client crashes, while I had lag spikes like maybe like once or twice a day, maybe 3 times a day. Like, but only like short lag spikes of like 1 second, which can be dangerous. Yes, I've shat my pants once or twice when that happened. But yeah, overall, it's not been that bad for me. So maybe I've just been a bit lucky.
Could be gateway locked, like something based on gateway Because I know I usually play like the opposite time of most people for my area, my time zone, and I still have it. So it's not based off the player basis. Because Zeno and I were leveling our characters together like really like in the early morning, and we partied in like Doc's normal and froze, and we're just like, what? Like there wasn't even anything low. Like
You
it was
froze because of the
pace.
reverb. Docs is one of the biggest instances to load.
No,
and
reverb's
asynchronous.
been off.
But remember, that was when the sound crash was happening. Like you can't hear me,
Yeah.
and then Discord and all that crap.
I did have the sound crashes, but that was only like the first 2 days or so.
Yeah.
After that, I didn't have it anymore. But I did have those a lot.
A tip to everyone out there in terms of this game freezing: if your computer isn't up to snuff, or aka Ziggy's new computer, that beast, congratulations. When you guys first enter an instance, just stop for 5 seconds. If you're not trying to do a race or not trying to do clear speed, just wait. Wait for the instance to load, because you're used to a loading screen. That loading screen is now gone. Make your own loading screen until they fix it. Make your own loading screen. Just
We now
chill.
have a loading stand where you just stand and load.
Just AFK. Just chill. Okay,
I'm starting to do that as well. Like, I think everyone pretty much needs to do that.
Yeah.
Short loading screens are a scam.
Nice prank, GGG. Nice prank.
DYP
right.
on that one.
Instead of you have Fortify, you are loading screen. It's the new Ascendancy upgrade.
Yeah, we are all loading screens now.
What's the next question, Ziggy?
The next question comes from Zen Mercury, and literally 100% of the people in chat. They want us to talk about this new staff called Real Mender. I think it's called Real Mender. Is that right?
Realmender.
I'm just kidding.
God, you
Real
trolled
Mender.
me.
Real Mender.
Please.
Real Mender, the new +4 staff for discharge, and more importantly, Wild Strike and Ellie hit.
I mean, I'm playing it. If you play staff Ellie hit, we can. Oh my god, I don't even know what you would do. This is how you would hit. This is your Ellie hit. That's what it'll look like with the staff.
I mean, that thing doesn't have attack speed. That's good for the mana cost.
Can we change the name
I
of
guess, yeah.
Realmender? Can we change the name of Realmender to the Real Memer? Because that's what Ziggy
Real-
just
real-
did.
Real
The
Memer.
Real Memer. I'm sorry, Angry.
So,
I know you're not a
this
fan
thing
of
has-
memes.
This thing has +1 fire, +1 cold, and +2 socket of elemental gems. Now it's pretty hype, and chat seems to be particularly hype about it. I mean, sure, I guess it's a cheap version of like not having to have an empower, but with a +3 staff, you get +1 to all gems, which pluses up your empower, which then increases your skill by another point as well. So it's not really that like new and exciting thing. Like it's something that you could already achieve with a +3 staff and empower. But I mean, empower is not free, so I guess depending on the economics of it, this could be cheaper than running a +3 with empower. I mean, probably is.
Also, just getting a +3 staff if you're playing like a staff caster, it takes a while to get a +3 staff. So that's pretty nice. You can chunk. I don't know. You can put SRS in that, right? Just like have a +3 SRS staff. Doesn't have cast speed. Hey, but it's cheaper than what you normally would use.
If it's cheap, yeah, I don't know what the price is.
I don't know if it's cheap, but if it's cheap, then yeah, it's pretty nice.
I think it's good design for unique items that are like basically budget versions of really good rare items. You know, I think that's really cool. And like you can make like a Juggernaut self-cast burning discharger with a staff, and it's going to be great. You know, and you can buy it on PoE trade for 2 chaos, and you don't have to spend like 2x to enable your build or to make it do well on high-end maps. So I think. Like it's kind of niche, but it's really cool.
Apparently it's a couple chaos, so a thing that mimics a +3 staff with empower for a couple chaoses. That's pretty
level
good.
40,
That's pretty good.
And +4 for discharge
Have to
and
link it.
wild strike and things like that. The cool thing about this game is GG is finally
Wild
giving
strike.
us, they're finally giving us things that are actual like mid-tier items. The game has always been like, this is an OP twink item, like Wanderlust, whoa. And now we actually have a mid-tier item before you craft that GG piece of gear. We've always been struggling, like, oh my god, I wish I had this. Just wait until I have Abyssus, guys, just wait. Now you actually have an answer to that. It's such a beautiful thing. A stepping stone, not just beginning game, late game, not question mark in the middle. You know that Prophet, right before Prophet, the question marks? That's the question marks that's finally filled in.
Yeah, it's actually like leveling unique, faded unique, and game unique.
Yes,
And it works.
exactly. It's beautiful. Or you could be a weeaboo with that clay armor, Cabo.
Yeah. I think I'm in that weeaboo label now. I can't get out of that.
Is there any questions for AngryAA in there at all? Is he?
There is, yeah. Eudaimonia asks, are the Council gloves worth using for a summoner, the new Pale Council ones?
Oh, these gloves. They hurt my soul to look at them because Like one of the okay, so minions have these are like summoner gloves that drop off the council, and what they do is they add 20% added cold damage to all your minions, and what they also do is they reduce your minion speed by 10%. And now those are like the main features of the gloves. Now the thing about the gloves is that when you play a summoner, what you realize is that minion speed is godly, because minion speed basically fixes your minions' terrible AI. Because if they move so fast, it doesn't matter if they move poorly or stupidly. They'll get there so quickly that everything's okay. So it's like this item that goes, hey, we're going to give your minions a bunch of damage and then make them more stupid. And you're like, that's the last thing you want in your minion build. You've been spending all your items and all your time to make sure that they're not stupid. So it's like, it's meant to be an item of the council. It just feels like, at best, it's a side grade and maybe even a downgrade. You know, I can't feel excited about the item at all.
Do you use... There's a couple questions I have, because they have a bunch of new things that give minion speed in the game, such as the Guardian. His Warcry now gives movement speed, so you can play a Guardian summoner, and plus he gives all that aura effectiveness. Also, the minion speed support gem has been buffed, and I'm sure you've seen it since you've been Mac. Do you think you can work those two together to perhaps use something like these gloves?
Well, it just becomes like, well, instead of using the gloves, just don't take the hit to minion speed, and then your minions are effectively even smarter, you know.
Touché.
And especially with, like, say, you know, a very popular minion skill is Summon Raging Spirits. And Summon Raging Spirits have a limited duration. So actually one of the best ways to increase their effectiveness is if they just move fast, they get to the enemy quickly, so they actually have time to do damage before they expire. So it's just all like, I don't know, it's like having an awesome item for Earthquake that has increased duration on it. You know, it's just the last stat you want on Earthquake. You want to reduce the duration as much as possible so that the shockwave can happen early. And then you're putting like the worst stat possible for the build on it. Just like, it doesn't, I don't know. Like,
so for classic summoner, it's out. Someone makes a good point in chat here. His name is Vandeli. How about the mirror arrow summoners? Because they don't move. They stand still.
Yeah. I guess like for specifically for mirror arrow summoners, it's decent. You know, it's
like
decent, but like that's like summoners are already like a really specific build. So like these are a pair of gloves that drop off like the new Pale Council, and they're only good for a specific summoner build, which is already a specific build. It feels a bit, you know, it's like if Reach of the Council only worked for Poison Arrow, it'd be a bit like, well, that's a bit strange. You know, it's a bit.
It's too specific. It's too specific. I understand.
Can I ask you another question, Angry, about summoners? As I'm a summoner player myself. As with minion speed being so good, what do you think about the new Queen's Decree? That adds a ton of, like, the faded Queen's Decree adds, I think, 80% minion speed or something like this. Now, I know you can't use Victorious Charity with this, so it's kind of competing with that is a bit hard. But, like, aside from that one, isn't that, like, insanely good?
Yeah, like, it's interesting because, you know, I'm normally like, you know, I mean, Queen's Decree, you lose out on a lot of things, but it's so much minion speed. Basically, it warrants testing, right? It's such a big minion speed number that you can do weird things with it, like stuff you could never do before. So basically, I'd love to maybe do some experimentations with the upgraded item and see what happens. My summoner died to freezing lag, you know, after the item was added, so I haven't really been able to test it. So I'd be curious to see like what you could pull off, like maybe stacking that with minion speed gem and like haste or Val haste. Like what happens? Your minions are just effectively like flicker striking to everything, right? With so much speed, it could be really awesome for them. Yeah, that's something I'd like to test.
Yeah, cool.
I think the item. I think the Queen's Decree has potential.
Zeno, you're muted.
Yep, Zeno's muted.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I guess I wanted to interrupt, but I'm laughing over here because Pohx probably just Googled the Queen's Decree because that dude did not know what it did.
No, I googled the shield. I googled the shield because I wanted to make sure it was the same one I was thinking of. That's why.
Did you look up the Queen's Decree yet? I want to see some.
No, I saw a bit of the Queen's Decree. So
yeah, I want to see someone really use that sword, like a skeleton summoner. Like this is the true Queen's Decree. Is it viable now? AngryAA, people like you, Gazzy, Pohx, people who have like Yoji's played a lot of summoners. The guys who play summoners. Please make a skeleton summoner for once. This new sword will actually allow it. The biggest problem with them is they're slow, and now they're fast. I want to see this. Somebody out there, I'm challenging you.
Skeletons are just so Dan's game, though. You know?
No, there's that new summon jewel. There's a new skeleton jewel that makes skeletal mages.
No, I would literally rather just run maps with one zombie. I would just go mushrooms, grab one. I'll just walk with this one zombie.
Nice.
One zombie, and then make a bunch of skeletons, and make that one zombie better than the skeletons to prove they need a damn buff. That
You don't have to do anything to the zombie. He will be better than the skeleton.
Yeah.
There are many things I would rather do. There are many things I'd rather do than play a skeleton build, like watch paint dry, reflect on the meaning of life, play heavy strike with no melee splash as your only skill.
Is this a
All of
challenge
these
for
would be
me to play
faster
the true hipster
than
build?
playing skeleton.
All you hipster summoners, I'll play the hipster skeletal. I started the Knolls with Uber Elite. Next, it's the skeletal summoner. I'm doing it. I'll do it. That's my next build.
Do it.
Screw it. I will do it.
But please, don't.
And I'll
don't
make
put
an auto
yourself
attack
on
build.
Did
And
you
we'll compete.
know, just a
Yeah,
heads
say,
up,
make-
the Skeletal Mage's Jewel is now affected by Skeletal Summon Skeletons support gem. So whatever the Summon Skeletons get, the Mages now get. They did buff that. I'm going to try
Yeah,
it.
that,
Alright, you do that. I'm gonna go cast on crit, auto attack, flame blast.
I'm going to play a Guardian. Just boost them up to no end. All right, guys.
that sounds like cool though.
Good luck.
I'm going to hate my life. I think this is the end of the podcast. We're ending this with Summon Skeleton. Can someone say any other skill? How's Lacerate? Is it good?
So you don't play
Let's
Lacerate?
not talk about it, please.
Okay, wow. So that's even worse than Summon Skeleton. All right, guys, we're ending this episode with Summon Zombie. Okay? Zombie. Because apparently it's better than everything. That's all I
Someone's
got.
not zombie, it's a zombie.
Just Zombie. Just one zombie.
Zombie.
Oh, think red, boys. All right, everybody, we're out. I'm going to end up hosting someone. AngryAA or YoJi, are you guys going to go live after this?
I'm
I'm
sleeping.
going straight to sleep.
Okay, well, then I will find someone in the community to host. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is the end of State of Exile. It's YoJi. You can find him out at twitch.tv/ItsYoji, and on YouTube, YoJi, it's the same.
No, it's youtube.com/ItsYoji.
Yeah, youtube.com/ItsYoji. AngryAA, we can find you on twitch.tv/AngryAA. Do you have a YouTube at all?
I do, but you can find it via my Twitch. It's fine.
All right, so if you go to his Twitch, you can find his YouTube. Both of these guys are awesome members of the community, and it's been an honor having you both. And welcome back to the community again, AngryAA.
Yeah, it's great to be back, and thanks for having me on the podcast, man. It's been a blast.
All right.
Yeah, it's always so fun on the podcast, man.
I think that's it, man. I think we're out of
It's
here.
good having you, man.
See you later.
Bye.
It's like the Brady
Or wave
Bunch.
awkwardly.
Well, wait, awkwardly.
Pox, turn the lights.
Punch hard for a minute.
What?
Bye.
Are they stroke pots?
I didn't want to blind people, man.